Number 62 on the calendar in the matter of Lake versus McConnell. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Lake, I am baffled by your lawsuit, so I am hoping, sir, that you are going to be able to explain to me why you believe that this young lady should give you $2,500.
As a consumer in a very aggressive area, retail grocery, as a consumer there where...
Why don't you tell me the story, sir?
The story is...
Yes, tell me about the lawsuit.
The lawsuit itself concerns...
Put your papers down, put your briefcase down, and just relax and tell me the story.
The story, which I have the physical evidence here, is that as a consumer, on Christmas Eve of last year, I entered with a companion at a certain grocery store in the San Diego County area. With that, and with my companion, we went through the cash-only line. My companion went first. She bought a couple of items. She was waiting right there on Christmas Eve for me to go through. Body language that she was ready to go, keys in her hand, tapping her foot. It was a very rush type of thing. I come in with one item in the cash line. I go ahead and confront the cashier with...
That's this young lady
yes,
here.
Yes, ma'am. A person now, who I now know the first and last name of. At that time, she was wearing a name tag with just her first name and last initial. At that time, right here on the receipt...
You gave her your item. What did you buy, sir?
I bought one bottle of champagne.
Okay, you bought a bottle of champagne, and you gave her money.
Not only did I give her money, but before I gave her money, I said, I have two $20 bills and a 50.
But why would you say
Shut up!
Pardon me.
You gave her two $20 bills and a 50. And how much was the champagne?
You can see the attitude of the store.
Hey, just a second. Mr. Lake, answer my questions,
yes,
please.
ma'am.
How much was the bottle of champagne, sir?
The bottle of champagne with the tax and everything else came out to $4.30. I asked Ms. McConnell, can you break a 50? I told her I have two 20s and a 50. She said yes. I handed her a $50 bill, a quarter, and a nickel, $50.30 for $4.30 purchase.
So what happened? Come on, speed
what
up the
happened
story.
was, with my companion waiting to go, rushing off for...
I heard the companion. What happened with the money and the champagne? Come on.
The money and the champagne is, I got the champagne, but I didn't get all the money.
Okay, so you say that she shortchanged you in the change, is that right?
She went ahead and counted out $50 in cash as a count back. I grabbed it and the receipt, stuffed it in my pocket, and left. Very soon after, in the same part of town, I had another cash transaction. I got out my cash. The receipt read clearly, cash tended, $40.30.
Okay.
I went back within half an hour of making my purchase. I confronted her and I said, have you taken in any $50 bills recently? And she said, no. This is within minutes after the transaction.
Okay, so what happened? Come on.
What happened was that talking to various store officials, including one Dean Honda, and
you talked to people at the store.
Yes, ma'am.
And did you get your $10 back?
I got the $10 back after a lot of arguing, and I also got the corporate phone up here in LA County.
Mr. Lake, so you went in, you gave her money, you realized sometime later when you were making a purchase that she had given you, according to you, $10 less in change than you should have gotten. So
yes.
far as that, make it fast?
Yes.
You went back to the store. At first, they didn't think that they had made a mistake, but ultimately that evening, they gave you the $10, correct?
After a lot of arguing, yes.
So you had a lot of arguing, whatever. That evening, they gave you back the $10.
That's correct.
So why are we here?
On principle, she still has her job. She has not, to the best of my knowledge, been reprimanded, and the store has tolerated outright theft. This is not my opinion. This is physical evidence. They tolerated outright theft. It's not my fault that she wanted some kind of a Christmas bonus on her own as an individual employee. In an industry that from the top constantly cheats consumers through price fixing, that store managers constantly take items off of sale on their computers. We have, in addition to that, employees working on their own, taking money out of my pocket. The principle of the thing is we have theft, we have denial of the theft, and we have zero cooperation from the corporation.
Okay. Now, I have a couple of questions to
Yes,
ask you.
ma'am.
How many lawsuits have you filed with regard to this particular incident?
One.
And this is the only one.
Yes, ma'am.
Never filed any lawsuits against her because she has a counterclaim against you for a variety of things, including abusive process, which is really the basis of your lawsuit, although you don't couch it in that language. She says that you've sued her at various times, and she'll tell me about that. You've also slandered her, which you did right now. You said she was a thief.
And I stand by that.
May cost you money, Mr. Lake. You understand that?
I stand
because
by
now
it.
I'm going to ask you some questions. Then I'll get to you. Okay, fine. It was Christmas Eve.
Yes, ma'am.
Store was busy,
Relatively so, yes.
and there were a lot of people online waiting, which is why you went to the cash line?
No, it was well staffed. They had a fair amount of employees waiting on people, so it was busy, but it wasn't real crowded, or there was not a long line.
Okay. And you came to her, and what you said to her was, I have two 40s or a $50 bill. Two 20s or a $50 bill.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, why would you say you had two 20s if the whole champagne was only $4?
I wanted to know,
No,
in the cash line,
yeah.
you know, I went through the cash line because I had one item in cash.
No, Mr. Lake, you're not following me, sir. If I had a 20 and a 50 and I was buying a $4 item, I might say, can you cash a 50? I have a 50 or a 20. Can you cash a 50? You told me that you said to her, I have two 20s and a 50.
Because I had just pulled it out, and I was looking at it and communicating right off the cuff at that moment.
So what you did, what you're saying to me, Mr. Lake, is, since you must agree with me that that was sort of a silly thing to say, I have two 20s to pay for a $4 item or a 50. I mean, that was kind of ridiculous, right? Mr. Lake, is that kind of ridiculous to say I have two 20s to pay for a $4 item, or I have a $50 bill?
That's the items that I pulled out. That's the cash I had on hand.
Well, who cares what cash you had? What if you had a $1,000 bill? She doesn't care what cash you had on hand. You had a 20 and a 50. You could have paid with either one.
I had a couple
So
of
can you
20s.
say, did you ever say I made a mistake? Did you ever say that in your life?
Often.
Very good. Well, so you made a mistake. You should have said, I just have a 20 and a 50. Can you cash the 50?
Well, if I had more time, if it wasn't a rush situation, maybe I would have.
Now we're getting there, Mr. Lake.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do I look like I need help?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Shannon McConnell, a supermarket cashier, disputes Donald Lake's accusations that he was shortchanged.
So you made a mistake because it was rushed, because you were taking out your money fast, because you had somebody waiting for you, and there were a lot of people behind you waiting to get checked out. So you made a mistake. Why wouldn't you give this young lady, and I haven't heard from her yet, the benefit of the doubt? Why do you ascribe to her malevolence, criminal activity, when it could have been an honest mistake?
That's a very good question.
I'm waiting for your very good answer. Now you're taking time to think about it, Mr. Lake, because you're going to think about a good response to me.
I can tell you right now, two good responses.
Yes.
Response number one, she counted back $50, not 40, in her count back. Number two, a few minutes later, she denies ever having the $50 bill in the first place.
Okay,
Had she said right then and there, oh, you know, if she'd apologized, if she would have helped me confer with the manager. I mean, up until I got the money back that night, she was fighting the manager. If she would have admitted her mistake, that would have been fine.
Mr. Lake, you don't think as a consumer you made a mistake by taking the money when she counted out the money and not looking at it? Not saying, I gave her a $50 bill, let me just check my change, instead of taking your change and just putting it in your pocket. Don't you have any responsibility to do that right at that moment?
Whatever responsibility I had with that, I took care of it as soon as possible.
No, you didn't. If you were taking care of it immediately while you were right there, you would have said, look, right, the bill right there on top, that 50 is mine. Instead, you walk out of the store after she counted out your money. Then you come back a half hour later after you've made another purchase someplace else and say, now, Christmas Eve, I want you to remember that I gave you a $50 bill. Hold it. Go.
From the beginning?
Well, if there's anything that he's left out from the beginning, I'd like to hear you.
Okay, when we went to the cash line, it was extremely busy.
How long have you been working at this store?
Since 1985. Not this particular store, for the company since 85. After I checked him out, I went on a 10-minute break. After I came back from the break, I went to another register. So when he approached me, he didn't ask me in a calm manner. He came up screaming a 20, a 10, and a 5, and a 1, saying that that's a change I gave him. Asked if he'd taken any 50s lately, being that I had just returned from my break, maybe 10, 15 minutes. I was on a new register where his 50 would have been on the old register, so I didn't recognize him from the prior exchange, because they had been so busy. I had hundreds of customers that day. I didn't recognize him, so I thought the only thing that came to mind was maybe he was wanting a nice, clean $50 bill to give as a gift. So I was saying, I don't think so, but I can check. And as I'm saying, I can check, see if there's one in the drawer. That's when he started going, there's 20, a 10, and a 5, and a 1. And then at that point, the manager came over to see what the commotion was about. The manager did not argue. I did not argue because I didn't know what it was about. The manager took the receipt, said, you were short of $10. He said yes. He took him over to the courtesy desk. At that time, he just gave him the $10, no questions asked, really. It was a matter of minutes till he got his $10 back. And at that point, Mr. Lake took the $10, waving in the air, screaming, don't go through Shannon's line. She has my money. She'll take your money.
Did you do that, sir?
Not all of those things.
Yes, sir.
I did some of them.
Ma'am, this is Jackie here.
Were you there that evening?
Yes, when her and I came back from our breaks, just coincidentally at about the same time, she opened up on the register right next to me, and the way our registers are set up is her customers' backs are to me, and my back is to them. Okay, so I heard a 20, a 10, real loud, and I turned around, stopped checking, turned around, and looked at Shannon, and then he goes up to the service desk with the manager and gets his $10. He has it in his hand, waving it. She stole my money. I mean, Christmas Eve is the second busiest day of the year. I've been working there for 22 years. I've never seen anything like this before in my life, the whole time. And he was waving the $10, saying she stole it. The customers eventually, he was there for probably 5 to 7 minutes, yelling and carrying on in front of the store. So all of her fellow employees heard every check stand was open. All the customers were, it was very busy. Him saying it wasn't that busy, relatively. Anyway, so the customers finally started saying, we don't want you here, go back to where you came from, we like our store, we like Shannon, and he left. That's how it was. I saw the whole thing. I stopped checking to watch it because I've never seen anything like it.
Shannon, how many times have you been to court with regard to this case?
This is my third time.
Tell me about the first 2 times.
The first time I went,
You were served with a summons?
Yes. I went.
What was he suing for that?
The first time was criminal and commercial theft, deceit, and fraud. That was the first one. I went there, and Mr. Lake failed to appear. I thought that was the end of it. I thought maybe he realized that this was a ridiculous case, and that was it.
Which court did you go to?
San Diego, Claremont.
Does that sound familiar to you, sir, that you filed a case there?
Yes, it did, and she was not serviced.
Just a second.
There was no service done.
I was there when he served the papers, and you did serve her, and you stood behind her and watched her check for about 10 minutes after you served her. You served her personally.
And
I stood
Just
there
a second.
watched you because
Just a
I knew
second.
you were.
And did you serve her?
No, I cannot serve. Service
Exactly.
must be done.
Serve.
Just listen to me. Just a second. You served her. You gave her the papers.
Yes, I did, and that is not service. Service must be a third party.
So why did you
Just
serve me?
hey. Do I look like I need help? Do I look like I need help?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You're really ticking me off, sir. You're really ticking me off, sir.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Donald Lake, the former educator, wants supermarket checker Shannon McConnell to pay for his trouble when he claims he was shortchanged at her supermarket.
Mr. Lake, so let me understand this, sir. You did, in fact, give her papers with regard to this first suit that she's talking about, but...
Yes, I did.
And what you're saying is that it's a question of semantics, because since you, as a party, cannot serve her, a third party must serve her. It was invalid service, and therefore she was not served.
Also, ma'am.
Am I right?
That's correct.
Good. Now,
And-
say nothing. You're really ticking me off, sir. You're really ticking me off, sir. So you didn't appear in that action because you say she wasn't served. Is that correct?
That's partially correct.
Did you appear in that action?
No, I did not.
Then I'm correct.
You're partially correct.
I'm always correct, sir. The question is, she went to court because she was given papers. She's not a lawyer. She doesn't know that if a third person doesn't serve, it's not considered good service, so she didn't want to be in default. She went to court, and you didn't.
Also, the paperwork was given to Shannon M. I was trying to find out her last name so that she could be serviced correctly.
All right, so now we have one lawsuit that you filed that you didn't follow through with, and she went. When was the next lawsuit?
The next one was 2 months later. We went again, and at that point, we found out that not only did he have my court case, he had 2 other cases in the courtroom next door. Obviously can't be in 2 courtrooms at one time, so he denied having the pro tem hear our case. So perhaps you could go to the other cases. So
Let me understand this so that I make it simple. When you showed up in court on the next court date after you were properly served, I assume, Mr. Lake, you had 3 actions pending on the same day. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you had to choose which case you would hear that day because you couldn't be in 2 courtrooms at the same time. So you said, I don't want a lay judge to hear my case. In her case, adjourn it to another day. Is that what happened?
No, ma'am.
Then let me hear.
I said I don't want a lay judge, a person who is not culpable to the Performance Review Board on any of my cases. That is a constitutional right.
And this is the 3rd case. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
correct? Are you ready?
I think so.
Are you ready?
Judge Judy is ready to rule. Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Mr. Lake, in the year and a half that I've been handling cases in this court, I have never imposed the judicial sanction of fines for abusive process, fines that have been paid to the court for wasting court time. Now, I am dismissing your lawsuit because your lawsuit is frivolous. And not only is it frivolous, but this is the 3rd time that you have abused the people of this state by taking up judicial time and manpower in filing it. There is no question that there was, based upon what I've heard, an honest mistake. You, sir, are a suer, which means you like to sue people. And maybe you get off on that, but I'm telling you right now that the judicial system in this country will not tolerate those people who abuse it, because if you abuse it, people who have a real case can't get court time because the courts are clogged with this kind of frivolous nonsense. Now, say nothing, Mr. Lake. You already said too much. Now, with regard to this lawsuit, her counterclaim, I'm awarding you. You are asking for $1,400. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And I'm also going to exercise my discretion and award you $2,500.
Wow.
All right? And I am imposing sanctions, Mr. Lake, costs upon you that are to be paid to the court in the amount of $500 because you have abused me, and I resent it. Not only have you abused her, but I resent the fact that you have abused the court system. That's all.
Step out. Judge, this is number 84 on the calendar in the matter of Heron versus Brown. Parties have been
Thank you.
sworn in. You may be seated.
This is a sad case. Sit down. Pay attention to me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Heron, this is your daughter, I assume.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing the defendant, who is the mother of this young man, I assume,
Yes, I am.
because you say that her son made your daughter pregnant. She had a miscarriage. Your medical bills for the miscarriage were almost $2,000, and you want her to pay half. Is that what this lawsuit is about?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I'd like you to step up here. You too. When did your daughter tell you she was pregnant?
The date was, what was the date? I don't,
End of September, I believe.
it was around the end of September. That's when I learned of it.
Were you dating?
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
I know what the lawsuit is with regard to Mr. Herron. I'd like to hear from you as to why you don't believe you should be responsible for half of these medical bills. Your son is how old, 16?
16, yes. First of all, I don't believe that I'm responsible for half these medical bills because there was never a paternity test to prove that Dontrell was the father. Plus, all the stress that her dad put on her after he found out she was pregnant. I think it was about the latter part of August, I got a call from Mr. Herron telling me that Denise had got caught shoplifting a home pregnancy test, and he was really upset and telling me that he had been nice to Dontrell and Dontrell had took advantage. And when I told him, well, it wasn't all Dontrell's fault, and then he tells me, well, yeah, she's the one that came to your house like a common and laid up with them. And so then the next thing I know, she's crying, saying that he had beat her.
Who beat her?
Her father, because he wasn't gonna let her have a, can I say the word?
I would prefer you didn't.
Okay, well, baby. And she stayed with her friends' houses, and even my daughter was concerned about her and was gonna let her stay with her because she was going through a bunch of turmoil. And I feel that all the stress that he put on her, and first of all, you know that being pregnant for the first time, you're scared as it is.
Well, it should, how old are you?
16.
16?
And to have undue stress and pressure put on you by someone that's supposed to be protecting you then. So I feel that he caused a miscarriage by all the stress, and that there was never a paternity test to say that Dontrell was a father. I don't see how he can tell me that I'm responsible for half the medical bills.
Mr. Herron, I'd like to hear from you.
Yes. This is absurd for them to even suggest that her son is not the father. It's an insult and it's appalling.
Well, I don't think that it's an insult and it's appalling, Mr. Herron, at all. Quite frankly, I'll address that. I'll address that first, and then I'll get to the stress part.
I would like to say that my daughter has been an honor student for her tenure in school. She's currently the treasurer of her high school. She was elected that. She doesn't sleep around or fool around or anything. This was the only boy that she had been seeing. And the first time I met this young man was he had been arrested for drugs at his junior high school. Helen here, is pulling anything. This stuff about beating Denise is just totally absurd.
Is that true, sir?
It's absolutely not.
Did your father hit you, Denise?
No. No.
Would you tell me if he did?
Yes.
Mr. Herron, what Ms. Brown is saying is not so bizarre as you may think, sir. Two 16-year-olds having sex unprotected, whether it was with him or with anybody else, is stupid. Two 16-year-olds having sex is stupid. Two 16-year-olds having unprotected sex is more stupid, or as my grandson would say, stupider. So, while I'm certain that Dontrell would probably stand up here and proclaim from the rooftops that this was his baby, is that right?
Yes.
Well, even after the miscarriage, they stopped by the house. She even offered to help Denise raise the child.
His mother is a little more practical. His mother says, I'm not sure, because 16-year-old with all that testosterone flowing says, yes, the baby is mine. His mother says, how can you be sure?
Well, it's the only thing she has for her defense. This is her defense in chief, and it's all she's got.
Well, Mr. Herron, it's a very good defense, sir.
Well, when I asked her to, didn't offer, a dime, and she knows deep in her heart, she professes to be a Christian and to come to this court and even suggest that he's not the father.
That's not what she's suggesting, sir. She's not suggesting that he's not the father.
But there's a possibility that...
What she's saying is, under the law, in this jurisdiction and in every other jurisdiction, when you have a child out of wedlock, there is no presumption as who the father is. And in order to determine that, we now have very sophisticated testing to determine parentage of children. You know about those tests. They have blood tests, they have DNA tests, and they can prove within 100% who's the father of that child. What Ms. Heron is saying is, under the law, there is no proof that Dontrell is the father of this child. When you're married, it's a different story. When you're married, the law presumes that you are.
So we're left to go with a preponderance of the evidence here, which my daughter doesn't sleep around. They know that. They know what kind of girl she is. She doesn't have time for it. She's an honor student. She's, you know, keep track of her, you know, as best I can.
You didn't keep track of her very well, sir.
But if she was such an
Just a
honest-
second, you didn't keep track of her very well.
Well, I said as best I can. You know, I do operate a business, and
Mr. Heron, that's what Ms. Brown is saying.
But if she was such an honorable student and such an honorable person, she wouldn't have swore to tell the truth and then turned around and lied that you never beat her.
you're the one who's...
Because
So
why
don't, listen to me, don't fight with each other. Did you tell Dontrell, who was your boyfriend, that your father hit you at some point in the kitchen in your home? Because that's what's in these papers. Did you tell? No, look at me, don't look at the floor, Ms. Heron. Did you tell that to him?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If my 16-year-old daughter came home pregnant, I guarantee you there'd be a lot of stress in my household. A lot of stress.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. The father of 16-year-old Denise Heron wants Helen Brown to pay the medical cost for Denise's miscarriage because he says Helen's son, Dontrell, was the father.
Did you tell Dontrell, who was your boyfriend, that your father hit you?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, I was upset.
So you told that to Dontrell, that your father hit you. What did you tell him about your father hitting you?
What do you mean, what did I tell?
I want you to tell me what you told him.
I said that he was yelling and got mad at me and started hitting on me.
Where did he hit you?
Hmm?
Where did he hit you?
He didn't. I just told him that I was upset.
Well, why would you tell him that?
Because I was scared he was going to.
So what you did was you told Dontrell a lie. Is that right? Hmm?
Yes.
Do you understand, Mr. Heron?
Yeah, I understand that I'm out $2,000 in medical bills for an instance that I'm not responsible for. And
Well, listen, you are responsible for it. You are responsible for it because this is your daughter.
yeah, I can't watch all the time just saying that she can't watch her son, but nonetheless, we're responsible for our minor's actions.
Absolutely
now, I'm
right,
willing
sir.
to accept the risk, but why should the burden of this whole thing be placed on me?
Mr. Heron, if your daughter had not had this miscarriage, and if she had had a child, and if there was a paternity test, listen to me, if there was a paternity test, and if it was established that this young man was the father of the child, he would be responsible for the support of that child, along with your daughter, until the child reached age 21. Right now, what Ms. Brown is saying is that while she believes probably that Dontrell was the father of this child, she's not certain. And she's not certain because of the miscarriage, there is no opportunity to conduct blood tests. And they are not married, so the law does not presume her son is the father of this child. So she doesn't feel as if she should be responsible. And in the law,
Well,
she's
certain. She knows. It's
How
the
does
only,
she know?
I'll
Listen,
tell
the
you
only
how
way
she
you can
knows.
be certain is if you were there.
That's true. The only she knows, though she's not admitting to it. You know, she knows. If you ask her in her heart if she feels that there could be anybody other than her son, what would you say, Helen? Does Denise
What's
sleep
in my
around?
heart? I don't know what
Your heart-
Denise
you-
does. I
Miss
don't
Brown,
watch
Well,
Denise.
tell the court what you think.
I don't watch Denise 24 hours a day, but up until this
You certainly
point,
don't watch him 24 hours.
may I speak, please? I really, like I said, when all of this happened, Denise came to me and I opened up my home and I was there for her. And I really had hoped that she would be lady enough to tell the truth here. But if she can stand here and lie and say that he never hit her and he didn't put her out, why should I believe that it was my son's baby? Because it's so easy for her to tell one lie, she could have told another lie.
Well, what she's already done is she's acknowledged here, after some prodding, that she did, in fact, she says, lie to your son about her father beating her. now whether her father beat her or not, is really not the issue. But it is an indication that your daughter is able to lie, sir, because she says she lied to him. You understand that? And I understand where you're coming from. You say, listen, there should be two people's responsibility. I absolutely agree with you, Mr.
Quite
Herron.
a bit of lying going on. It seems as if Mr. Trell here would be following in his father's footsteps, who I guess is...
What does his father have to do with
Mr. Herron, don't bring... I would suggest, sir, that you not bring other matters into this case which really bear no relevance to it. Dontrell, I'm going to tell you this. You believe that you were the father of this child?
Yes.
Then you pay back Mr. Herron. Do you understand?
Yes.
Then you, sir, have a moral, if not a legal obligation, to do that. Now, you go to school?
Yes.
Do you work?
Yes.
What do you work at?
At a senior citizens home.
How much do you get paid?
$5 an hour.
And what do you do with that money?
Oh, I haven't gotten paid
Speak
yet.
up, sir.
I haven't gotten paid yet, ma'am.
When did you start working there?
It's just a summer job.
And you're going to keep that summer job?
Yes.
Well, then I would suggest, Mr. Brown, that if you want to try to get back into this family's reasonable graces, you're never going to get into their good graces, but reasonable, and assume some sort of moral responsibility for an act that you probably had something to do with, you will see to it that each time you get a paycheck, Mr. Herron gets a check or a money order. Do you understand?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
What are you looking at? Where are you looking? All over the place. Do you understand that?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You've got to learn to keep your pants zipped up, sir.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Vincent Herron says Helen Brown's teenage son made his teenage daughter pregnant, so they should share the medical costs.
Your mother is quite correct. She's not responsible because they're not able to establish, because there's no baby here, that you're the father of this child. If you believe that you are, sir, you pay for it. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Well, are you going to do it?
Yes.
Oh boy.
No, I don't. Listen.
And I'm the only one lying here?
Just a second. I'm telling you this. I don't know whether you two young people still see each other, either with your parents' knowledge or without their knowledge. But if there is any remote possibility that you will have a long-term relationship, any, you better start paying back Mr. Herron. And listen to me, Denise. Look at me. I'm not going to ask you whether you still see him, because I'm not going to create any more difficulty than already exists. But if he doesn't start making those payments, starting this week when he gets paid to your father, I would suggest to you that he does not have the kind of character that you want to hook up with permanently. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Good.
Your Honor, would a
Yes.
preponderance of the evidence suggest here that if he says that he's the father, I know that he is, Denise knows, Helen knows, but wouldn't the preponderance of the evidence indicate that I should get some kind of judgment?
Absolutely not, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely not, sir. There is not a
It's
preponderance. Listen
as
to
much
me.
in her favor as it is in mine.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You could bring anybody in off the street and say, I believe that they're the father of this unborn child. I want to be paid half of my outlay of medical costs. The only question that I asked your daughter here today, Mr. Herron, was whether or not you beat her. She said initially no. Then we went back to her and I said, did you tell him that your father beat you? She said yes. Listen to me. You say it never happened. That means somebody is lying. Do you understand?
There's no record of violence at our house at all.
No, listen to me. Your daughter said, Mr. Herron, that she told Dontrell that you beat her. That was, therefore, according to you, a lie. Is that right?
What does that have to do with the responsibility of the medical bills here? This is what I'm suing for.
Mr. Herron, you wanted, in order for you to establish, to my satisfaction, by a preponderance of the evidence, sir, that this unborn child was his child, I would have to believe...
He said, I said it, she
no,
said it. She's
I would have to believe your daughter. in a situation where the law in this jurisdiction does not hold any presumption of paternity. I am not prepared to do that. The only thing I am prepared to do is to make a moral judgment that if this young man believes that he is the father of this child, then he has the moral responsibility at age 16 to defray some of the medical costs. But his mother does not have that responsibility because she is entitled to know whether her son fathered this child before she puts her hand in her pocket.
But yet I'm responsible for my minor. She's not responsible for hers, you know.
No, sir, unfortunately, as the father of a daughter, that's true. That's true. It seems somewhat inequitable. That's what they have paternity tests for, sir.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Could I suggest this? Without the paternity test to indicate that it's 1 in a million chance, is there a possibility to get part of the judgment? I mean, instead of saying that I'm wrong totally, I mean...
No, Mr. Herron, I just told you he's supposed to pay the whole $900 because that's half of your medical bills, $900 and some odd dollars. What is it?
With me saying that I think the baby is mine, but would it matter the cause of the miscarriage? 'Cause like
no, doesn't matter the cause of the miscarriage, sir. That's what you put in your answer. You say because her father placed her under a great deal of stress. No. Listen to me. I'm going to get on his case. I want you to be quiet. What you're saying is because her father placed her under a great deal of stress, that caused the miscarriage, and therefore you shouldn't be responsible. I want to tell you something. If my 16-year-old daughter came home pregnant, right, and the father, she said, was another 16-year-old who went to high school, I guarantee you there'd be a lot of stress in my household. A lot of stress. You got to learn to keep your pants zipped up, sir. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Keep yourself busy. Get 2 jobs. Think. Use your brain. You know, this is the time for you to use your brain. I know using other parts of your anatomy don't require that much effort, all right? But get 2 jobs because he's out money, and if what you believe is true, that you are the father of this child, if you believe that, then you have a responsibility, even at age 16, to help defray the costs. We understand each other?
Yes.
That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right, please. 86 on the calendar in the matter of Summers versus Hill. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
You folks lived together for 11 years, or were together for 11 years and have a 5-year-old child.
Right.
Not married.
Right.
According to your complaint, sir, the defendant left you, and when she left you, she took $1,300 out of a business bank account.
Right.
You want your $1,300 back?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
During the 11 years that you were together, did you work?
All the time.
What kind of work did you do?
I've done printing, working in car wash, cashiering in a drugstore. Right now I'm currently in payroll and billing at a temporary service.
When you left, we'll get to that event in a moment, but when you left, what monies did you have after 11 years?
You mean as far as savings?
Yes.
Nothing.
What about property?
The only thing I had that was in my name that he's already taken was a car.
So this $1,300 was what you left with after 11 years?
Yes. And that and my son.
Now, Mr. Summers, I find some of the things that you say interesting. First of all, you were in business together.
No.
Well, you were in business.
Right.
What kind of business, sir?
Automotive air conditioning.
And what did you do in the business?
Service and repair automobiles, their air conditioning.
Did you have a shop?
No, I'm mobile.
What do you mean you're mobile?
I do it out of the back of a truck.
How long have you been doing it, sir?
4 years.
The business was in her name.
Yes.
Why?
2 reasons. One, I thought that it needed to be because of Social Security, because I also have an incurable spinal disease that leaves me on the sedentary rule for work. The sedentary rule for work. Anyway, I was given Social Security.
Just a second. You lost me someplace. You received Social Security disability.
Right.
Social Security disability means that you are disabled and cannot work.
Not under the sedentary rule.
Well, tell me what this rule is, because as a taxpayer, I would like to see what I could do to get it changed.
Okay, sure. Sure. It means that any repetitious, anything that is done for any certain period of time, no longer than 15 minutes, I didn't make the rules. I just go along with it.
And how long have you been on disability?
8 years.
And you've been doing this work running around in your truck, fixing cars
Right.
for 4 years.
Right, right.
So what you're telling me is, sir, that the reason you put the business in her name is because you were afraid that if the business was in your name, your disability would stop.
No.
Well, then...
No, that's not true.
That's
I
not
have
true.
a 5.5-year-old son, Your Honor, that I wanted to be able to provide for in case anything happened to me. That's the God's truth. That's why I put
Sir,
it.
you're lucky that a lightning bolt didn't come right there.
Well,
and strike
that's
you down.
let it strike me. That is the reason why. That is the reason why.
That's a lot of baloney.
Well,
That's a lot of baloney.
okay.
The baloney part is that when you're receiving disability, disability means that one is unemployable. And if you opened up a business and if you were told the Social Security Administration 4 years ago that you were now involved in doing work that was not repetitious because you were
have.
going someplace else, they would have stopped your disability.
No, ma'am, they have not, and I have. And I have. I'm allowed to have anything as long as it's not over $2,000 in my account.
I see that you got the system down to a science. How much, by the way, how much do the taxpayers give you every month from disability?
$650.
Pocket money. Nice. All right. Now, you also bought a house,
Yes.
sir, while you were together. Is that right?
Yeah.
And according to your papers, you put the house in your name.
No, my father actually bought the house.
What do you mean your father bought the house?
My father bought the home so that I would have a home for my son to grow up in.
What about-
I'm
what
paying
about
the
your son's-
mortgage payment.
You're making the payments.
Yes, I
So
make
the
the
house is
mortgage
in your
payment.
father's name.
Yes.
Interesting. Got this really worked out. And what did you do with your money, Miss Hill, when the money that you earned?
It went towards groceries and bills.
Did you have a joint account?
Yes, we did.
But the house you knew was in his father's name.
I knew that it was always in his father's name, but I just recently found out after we split up that it is also in his name. Not my name, but his and his
You're
dad's.
telling me that it's in joint names with his father?
That's what I was told.
Is that true, sir?
No, the insurance is.
What do you mean the insurance is?
Well, because I live in the home, it was good to put me on the insurance in case anything happened to the home.
But not her. So you got a house, and you have a business, and she's got $1,300, period. What else did she leave this 11-year relationship with, sir?
My son.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I was hurt. I was very hurt.
Yeah, that's why she took the money. It hurt so bad she had to get compensation.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Veronica Hill admits she ran out on auto mechanic Gary Summers and took his son, but claims she had to leave because of Gary's controlling behavior.
You say in your answer to his complaint that you found certain papers before you left in the house.
Yes?
Would you like to tell me, please, what papers you found before you left with your son?
Gary had already started proceedings to get custody of my son, and I didn't know.
How did you find those papers, and where did you find them?
I found him in his work clipboard. One day I was looking through it, I don't remember for what, but I found the papers in there underneath some invoices.
And what were the papers for? What did they say?
He was filling out the papers already to take me to court to get custody of my son for me.
When had you begun to fill out those papers, Mr. Summers?
Around the end of March.
And when did you leave, Miss Hill?
April 20th, and I found those papers in the beginning of March.
Had you ever gone to court seeking custody before you found those papers?
Never, not until March 7th and March 6th, excuse me.
March or April?
I'm sorry, April. April.
Had you already left the house?
No, I did not leave until April 20th, and that was the day before our hearing.
And at the hearing, who was awarded primary custody of the child?
Well, that first day that we went to court, he was ordered to go and be drug tested. And after we went to court again on May 14th, we were both awarded joint custody with my residence being the primary.
What was the result of the drug test?
Positive.
For?
Marijuana.
Mr. Summers, you lived with Miss Hill for 11 years.
Yes, ma'am.
They do not have anything in this jurisdiction and in most other states about community property for people who aren't married. If they did, she'd be entitled to a lot more than $1,300.
Ma'am, I earned that money. She got all of her money that she...
What do you mean she had all of her money?
Well, whatever
where?
she earned, she took. The other account she took out of there, the savings she took out of there.
Just a second. Did you take out any other money, Miss Hill?
Yes, I did.
What other money did you take out?
I took out $200 from our personal account.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
What other money did you take out?
I took out the $1,300 out of the business account.
And the savings.
What about
Golden One savings.
Just a second. I have
Which wasn't
$200
much.
that you took out.
$200 out of the personal and $1,300 out of the business.
And you said something about a
And the
savings account.
Credit union savings account was in my name.
And mine.
How much money was in the credit union?
$25.
The whole thing. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the whole business.
There was about $25. That's all there was when I cleaned it out.
Okay.
There was only $25. The most we ever had in there was probably about $600, and that went little by little for bills or whatever.
And how much do you think was in there, Mr. Summers?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know because it was gone before I got to it, before I checked on it. But I don't believe that it was just $25.
Think it was maybe $200?
Well, maybe at the most. It wasn't a large sum of money, no.
So, at the most, you say maybe it was $200. So what Miss Hill left with was $1,700, right?
She's ready to rule.
I better watch out for my son because my son needed to live in a better home.
And later today,
And they call my son a white supremacist because he's sitting on a phone booth threatening my son, and my son just reaches up and grabs him by the arm and pulls him down.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
So after an 11-year relationship, she left with $1,700. So, and the business was in her name. She can take whatever she wants out of the business. You put it in...
Even though she didn't earn it. Even though I went out and I'm the one that deposited that money. She never deposited that money. Had it been in my name, then it would have been okay because we lived together.
What
for her
I'm
to
telling
take
you
it.
is you had an 11-year relationship, sir, and if you expect this woman, after she finds out that you, behind her back, are seeking to take custody away from her,
That's
of her
not true.
child, without discussing it with her, which is exactly what happened. Oh, exactly what happened.
No, ma'am, because I could have done it and I never did. And I
You
wasn't
feel-
about to, and I have a
So
doctor.
what'd you do? So what'd
I
you-
have a doctor that I see quite frequently, okay, for counseling. I asked him to please set up somebody so that we could stay together. I tried to keep us together. I did that. I didn't want any split up. I never did want to split up. When she became very adamant on the fact that she couldn't live with me, then I thought I better watch out for my son because my son needed to live in a better home.
Okay, well, the court has already made a determination about where your son is going to live. He's going
No,
to live...
he hasn't. No, they haven't, Your Honor. That is not true.
If they haven't, they haven't. That's not
That
really
is not
before
true.
me. According to you, the court made at least an initial determination that primary custody was with
Right, but
you.
I've been served with papers again because he's taken me back to court to sue me again for custody.
I'm not suing anybody. I'm doing what you're supposed to do in family law. I'm giving my response to the last hearing.
Good. Well, I'm giving my response to you, Mr. Summers. I'm dismissing your lawsuit. That's all.
Parties are step out.
Okay.
I took the money, Gary, and I had to get
What did you do
compensation,
with it?
but you have
What
not
did you do with
paid
the money?
anything,
What did
have
you do
you?
with money? What did you do with money?
I got the receipts right in here to show you. You can see them.
What'd you do
They
with it,
went
Rodney?
towards your son's child
That's
care.
Oh, Veronica, please.
He won't let it go. I know he won't.
Well, of course I won't. I want my son.
Parties on Arriaga Salazar versus Padilla Rogers. Step forward, please.
14-year-old Daniel Salazar says his one-time school friend, Andrew Padilla, badly injured him when he pulled him off a phone booth.
Daniel, that's you and you're Andrew?
Yes.
You're his mother?
Yeah, Daniel's mother.
Why don't you have a seat? And you're Andrew's mother?
Yes.
Till I need you, why don't you have a seat? Because this really is a matter between the two boys until we come to the money. Then you're involved. You say that this young man injured you.
Yes.
You want him to pay for your medical bills.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me about it? Tell me what happened.
Well, it was like after spring vacation, and I came to school.
Speak up, please, so I can hear you.
I came to school, and some kids were saying that if I wanted to fight him, because supposedly everyone said I was mad at him, which wasn't true. So like this went on for 3 days. Like on the third day, I went up to him and I told him that if he had a problem, because I didn't. And then he said, all right, we didn't have a problem. Then on the fourth day, two of my friends, we were walking to a store because they gave us a ride there.
You were walking to a store. You ended up on top of a phone booth, according to your statement.
Yes.
What were you doing sitting on top of a phone booth?
We were waiting for my friend's mom.
To pick you up from someplace?
Yes.
So you're sitting on top of the phone booth, and what happened?
I had my hands in my pocket, and I saw Andrew coming, and he like made a phone call. While he was making the phone call, when he hanged up, he pulled my arm. I fell to the ground, and that's all I remember.
Then you passed out?
Yes.
What kind of injuries did you have?
I had some scratches on my face, my leg. It was messed up for a little while, and I just had X-rays. I had X-rays on my head.
What is the total amount of your medical bills?
I'm not sure.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Who are you?
I'm a friend of the family. I live with them. I'm like his aunt. I've been living with his mom, and I'm there when the kids get home from school.
I'd like to see the medical bills, please.
What I originally put in the paperwork was $1,900, but those were the bills that we had gotten at that point. They're now up to $2,500, and I think $2,580 is what it is now.
Andrew!
Yes.
You said this was all an accident, Andrew.
Yes, it was. At first, we were real good friends. Like, and one day it seemed like between his friends, his brother, and my friends, like he wanted me to choose between, like.
Do me a favor. Get to the telephone booth.
Oh, the telephone booth. All right. I walked to the phone booth.
And I want you to do something for me.
Yeah.
I want you to try to say a sentence without the word like.
All right. I walked to the phone booth to make a phone call. I called my mom, tell her I was gonna be late. I hung up the phone, and then I reached up to grab him by the arm to bring him down. And
Why?
Talk to him. Talk to him.
Why didn't you just look up and say, I'd like to talk to you?
He was like mad dogging me and stuff. He was like looking at me like intimidating me, mad dogging, give me dirty looks. So, you know, I was just like, pull him down.
Andrew, what did your mother teach you about sticks and stones?
Oh yeah, I know. I just pulled him down and talked to him.
You pulled him down, but he got hurt.
My intent was not for him to get hurt. He tried to brace himself to stop me from pulling him down.
He tried to brace himself so that you couldn't pull him down.
Yeah, causing him to fall.
Yes. So this isn't your fault?
Nah. No.
Andrew, sometimes when you start a situation, you don't intend the consequences of that situation to happen. You know, it's like I've sat in court and I've listened to guys who were charged with driving while they were intoxicated and injuring somebody. And they said to me, I never intended to hurt anybody. I wouldn't hurt anybody. You know, I had something to drink, but it was never my intention to cause that accident. Well, when you start a scenario that's wrong and something happens, then you're responsible. Now I'll hear you. Step up.
First off, we brought a witness because Daniel was telling Tony that he was going to beat Andrew up.
So?
3 days prior to this.
So what? What does that have to do with anything?
He was telling everybody at school he was going to beat Andrew up.
So what does that have to... Madam!
They run into each other at the liquor store. Daniel's giving him dirty looks. He put Andrew into the position of I want to find out what's going on. Andrew reached up and grabbed him by the arm, pulled him down. Natural instinct when you start to fall. Don't you put your hands down to protect yourself? Or you fall into the person that pulled you down?
So you believe that your son is not responsible for this?
She's ready to rule.
And you don't even remember because you were dazed and confused because you purposely didn't catch yourself.
So you believe that your son is not responsible for this?
No.
Very good. The
I
medical
feel he
bills
should
in this
not
case
have
are
put his
25.
hands.
Listen to me. The medical bills in this case are $2,500. That's what all these medical bills are, and that's what you owe. And I'm going to tell you something. You haven't taught your son well, and if you
yes, I
continue,
have.
listen to me, and if you continue to inculcate him with your excusal philosophy, you're going to find yourself standing in court more often than just today.
No.
Let me tell you why. He went up and took a physical step to pull him down, and he acknowledged to me that he didn't want to be pulled down to talk to him, so he wrapped himself around the phone booth. By the way, was this the only phone booth on the block?
Yes.
If you were having difficulty with him, if you felt intimidated by him and you saw him perched on top of this phone booth, why didn't you go someplace else to make a phone call?
Because that's the only phone.
Andrew,
Yes.
what do you see written on my forehead, Andrew? Not stupid, right? Not stupid, right?
No.
Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
On the next.
This is case number 181 in the matter of Struz versus Scherzer. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
Sir, you allege in your complaint that you made a loan to the defendant of $1,600 for the purpose of buying a used car.
Yes, Your Honor.
She says it was a gift.
She's
So
wrong,
why
Your
don't you tell me what prompted you to lend this young woman $1,600 to buy a car?
Well, Your Honor, I met the defendant in June. I think you've read the statement, and I have a little problem with wanting to help girls out, and I admit that, but she had her car repossessed by her mother earlier, and she wanted to get out of the job that she was doing at the time that I met her, so she needed an automobile to gain employment as a personal assistant. So at the time, I had enough money, and we were becoming friends and casually dating. So I offered to loan her the $1,600.
What did you say? Tell me exactly what you said and what she said.
I told her that I had the money and that I would help her with the purchase of the car. She told me that she insisted that she would pay me in October for whatever the loan for the car was. And I discussed the price with her. I said, what can you afford? Anywhere from $1,000, $2,000. We were looking at cars. And like I said, we found a car through a friend of mine that is an automobile broker, and she was pleased with the car that we had found. And
what kind of car was it?
It was a 1987 Audi 4000, Your Honor.
Okay, so you both went and saw the car together.
Yes, we did. We looked at 2 cars previous to that, and Robin was not happy with those cars, so I asked my friend to...
this is the friend?
This is the friend, Miss Moore. And I asked her to keep looking for a car that would be suitable for Robin, and when we found a car, we went test drove it, and Robin said that it'd be a suitable car for her.
So you paid for it?
Yes, I did. I have a bill of sale right here, Your Honor. I have a check receipt here. I've got everything right here.
I'd like to see your file.
Okay.
So then what happened?
Can I add something else,
Sure.
Your Honor? Okay, I am just asking for the $1,600. I'm not asking for this for the money. I'm asking it for the purpose of that this woman, I went out of my way to help her. I didn't expect anything in return from her. But after I had purchased the car, she disappeared. For 7 days, I had it set up that she could have insurance through the insurance man that insures my car. Miss Moore was going to get her to register the car. She was gone for 7 days. I asked her, I said, Robin, you need to take care of these things. She said, well, I want to get a car stereo. I said, listen, young lady, in order for you to operate a motor vehicle, you've got to take care of these things. I'd already had it set up. She got really mad at me. She said she wouldn't talk to me. I said, fine. I said, just take care of the stuff. When I spoke to her again, I said, have you taken care of it? She said, no. She said, you're being mean to me and I don't want to speak to you anymore. And I said, that's fine. I just need you to take care of this stuff. She never registered the car, and as far as I know right now, I don't know what she's doing with it.
Okay. Ms. Scherzer?
I also,
Yes, Your Honor. I understand.
Your Honor, can I also tell you that, you know, in here I have other checks that I wrote for a sofa that I purchased for her that I didn't expect anything. Also her rent that I didn't expect anything. And, you know, it's like, one more time, you know, it's like, my friends have told me not to do this. I'm attracted to women who work in the...
Mr. Strews?
Yes.
You say she owes you $1,600. Can I hear why she thinks that this was a gift?
Yes, I would love to hear that, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I told him not to buy me a car because I knew that there would be something else expected. Something more.
You mean something physical?
Yes. And, I mean, as far as the sofa, I didn't even know he was going to go pay for that. The furniture store called me and said, your couch has been paid for. We'd like to deliver it. Can you call us and let us know when? I don't feel that I owe him any money at all. I told him that I was seeing someone. I told him that he could not expect anything from me, nothing. And he said that was fine. He understood. If anything, he would just like to maybe be able to spend some time with me.
Where's the car?
The car is at my house.
Where's the sofa?
At my house.
Ms. Scherzer?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Not while I'm getting ready to talk, sir.
Excuse me.
If you think that I believe that you're a nice young woman, you're mistaken. You're a taker. Because if what you just said to me is true, that you didn't want to accept any gifts from him because you knew that there were strings attached. Are you chewing gum?
Yes, ma'am.
Get it out of your mouth.
Okay. Your Honor?
I'm not finished.
Okay.
If somebody like this gentleman has a problem because he is generous to a fault with young women and he expects something in return, then a nice young woman would say, I'm not speaking to you.
I'm sorry.
Then a nice young woman who cared about doing the right thing would have said to the furniture store, please, I don't have the money for the sofa. Return the money to the person who paid it, and when I can afford to pick up the sofa, I will pick it up. And a nice woman would have said, not only did I tell you I don't want your help with a car, but I'm not accepting a car from you because I don't want any strings attached. You, on the other hand, madam, accepted all these things.
Yes, I did.
That's
funny
that's amoral, madam. It's cheapening yourself. It's cheapening yourself. If you knew in your head that he expected something from you in exchange for these gifts, and you were not prepared to give it to him, right?
Correct.
Then you're a tease. Did you ever hear that expression? Did you ever, madam? Did you ever hear that expression?
Your Honor.
Yeah.
He would stand at my door, and it force me to kiss him goodbye. I never told him that there was anything that he could expect from me at all.
Ms. Scherzer?
Ever.
Ms. Scherzer, are you not following what I'm saying to you, madam? I mean, are you really that thick?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Obviously, she's very angry. She thinks that I'm like a desperate man, but, you know, I've got two women with me right here, you know? It's like, how desperate could I be?
And later today...
I didn't see a naked woman. If I did, I'd sure as hell remember it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robin Scherzer says when Joseph Strews bought her a car, he called it a gift. But now that their friendship is over, he wants to be compensated.
When you tease someone, that means you hold a carrot in front of them like this. Okay? And you say, maybe you can have it, maybe you can't.
No.
Now, if you are not, however, put your hand down. Don't you know when to shut up? If, however, you are an honest person, you say, I want nothing to do with you, sir. I want you to take your gifts. I want you to take your money. I want you to take your sofas and your rent money and your cars and everything else. I want you to leave me alone. And if you don't leave me alone, because I'm not interested in you, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to get a restraining order so that you're not You don't come to my door anymore. You, on the other hand, were dishonest with him. I find that to be absolutely immoral. You got it?
Yes.
Good. Judgment in this case is for
Your
the
Honor?
plaintiff in the amount of $1,600. That's all.
Parties are excused.
Understood
You may
as
step out. Out the back door to your right, please.
Don't get mad, sweetheart.
No,
I'm not mad at you.
I'm not mad at all.
You're very mad.
No.
You're lying about me
No,
up there.
I think you're a joke.
You're calling me,
actually.
you're calling me a desperate man. Do I look like a desperate man? I don't have any problem with women. I met her through an agency that she strips. She did. And
No.
I don't blame her. I don't think there's anything wrong with girls
Why
that
were you
strip.
calling that agency?
It's like,
do you have to call
we won't
people?
go into,
You have to call people to get them to come to your house to do that?
honey.
Is that how desperate you are?
You're not bothering me by this. It's an expensive lesson, but I still date strippers.
And now the next case.
Parties on Miguel versus Parker. Step forward, please.
Rosalinda San Miguel is suing her exterminator, Brandon Parker, because she claims he entered her apartment without knocking and saw her in the nude. She's suing for mental anguish.
All right. You're in the shower.
I was getting ready to take a shower.
And you heard a knocking on your door?
Yes.
What did you do?
I went to my son's bedroom to look through the window to see who it was.
And who was it?
It was a pest control man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pest control.
Yes.
An exterminator.
Right.
Correct.
Of bugs.
Excuse me?
Of bugs.
Bugs, anything?
Anything. And so what did you do?
When I seen that it was him, I ignored it because I hadn't ordered no services for that day. So as I proceeded to go down the hallway to go back into the bathroom, I saw like a light in my living room. And when I went in there, he was in my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time when I went in there, I was naked.
When and where?
Into the living room because I had removed all my clothing already when I was getting ready for my shower.
So you're suing him for all kinds of pain, suffering, and distress because he let himself into your apartment and saw you naked. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, Mr. Parker.
Yes, ma'am. I was going to this apartment complex for my first time. We had just gotten the account, and they gave me a sheet of paper of a list of apartments to do. And they told me to pick 5 apartments out of this, about 20 apartments on there to do, so I went about doing that.
How did you get into these 5 apartments? So you picked 5 apartments.
Right.
How did you get into these 5 apartments?
The management sent a maintenance person with me, plus they gave me a key. Halfway through doing these apartments, the maintenance person left. So I chose her apartment was one of the last ones I was to do, and I went to her door, I knocked, and I knocked, and I knocked. No one would answer the door.
Mm-hmm.
So I assumed the apartment was empty, and I was to go in there, do my business, and get out and get gone. So I unlocked the door, opened the door, said pest control. I yelled it 3 times, and then about after the 3rd time, she came through the hallway. She was not naked.
She was?
She was not naked.
What was she wearing?
She had a long t-shirt on and what appeared to be shorts. And as I was trying to understand her, what she was trying to say to me, she was pushing me out the door. I was trying to explain to her what I was to do, and it came out to be that I had mistaken her apartment for another one that was in the same area.
Let me understand this. Was her apartment number on this list that you got?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
I also have a copy of the work order log. I had ordered for services 6/20/97, and it specifically says spiders outside only.
Miss Miguel, the problem is, when I read your complaint and I read his answer, it appears to me that this gentleman was told that your apartment was one of those apartments that was to be serviced that day. Do you understand?
Yes.
So my question is, if that is true, then you are suing the wrong person. You should be suing your management company, the people who told him to go into your apartment. What are you suing him for?
Correct.
He was following instructions.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I just felt I was very violated. I really was. I can understand a mistake, like I've said, but when you're asked to leave, you are to leave.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Rosalinda San Miguel is suing her exterminator, Brandon Parker, because she claims he entered her apartment without knocking and saw her in the nude. She's suing for mental anguish.
On this work order log, Your Honor, it states the date of services that were supposed to be done that day.
You mean this is the work order log that he had?
This is the work order log that my management had.
Not that your management. I want to see the one that he had.
It's
so
the same
I
one.
will. What?
It's
the same thing.
one, Your Honor.
Let me see.
The one highlighted is my apartment, Your Honor.
Okay. President. Sir, I'd like you to look at this. This is what your employer submitted.
Right.
I'd like you to take a look at that piece of paper, please. And I have a copy of it. Does it not indicate that her apartment was only to be serviced outside?
Yes, that's what I'm saying is on the line above it, it says roaches. Whenever I went to do that, I was a busy day, and I had misread the line above it on what I was spraying for.
No, you didn't tell me that before, sir.
Well, I should have. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't tell me that before. Before you told me that you would receive a list, you went into the list, and it turned out to be...
This is what I was received.
So you went into the wrong apartment.
Right.
You, the management company didn't tell you to go into that apartment. You went into the wrong apartment.
They told me to pick 5 apartments from this whole sheet.
Right, but
They
her
didn't.
apartment says spiders outside.
Right.
So what'd you go inside for?
Because I misread the line above
Because you
it.
made a...
Mistake.
Okay. That's simple.
Right.
Now, you made a mistake. So you're not suing his boss, who clearly has deep pockets, much deeper pockets, because you could have. You understand that.
Yes.
That was your mistake. He made a mistake. Now, is this a $5,000 mistake? Because that's what you're suing for? You're going to have to explain to me why this was a $5,000 mistake, Ms. Miguel, because I can see an apology and some sort of minimal compensation, but quite frankly, I don't see where this mistake, and it was clearly an honest mistake, is worth anywhere near $5,000.
Your Honor, we're all human. I know we all make mistakes. And I mean, my heart's not that cold, you know, to say, okay, you made a mistake. But when he went in, and I told him, what are you doing in here? He told me that he had a work order, you know, to spray for roaches. I go, I don't have roaches. You need to leave. He told me, no, you signed a waiver with your manager that I can come in here. And I told him, I never did no such thing. I asked him to leave about 3 or 4 times, Your Honor, and he would not leave. I had to take the master keys myself from the lock, and I threw them and I shoved them out my door. And I told him, I will meet you in my manager's office, because he refused to leave my home. I told him, I live here, and I'm telling you to leave, and he wouldn't leave.
Well, you understand, Ms. Miguel, that he honestly believed that he had a work order to do your apartment. You understand that? I mean, he wasn't making that up. He honestly believed that he had a work order. He misread a line. How many times did she ask you to leave, sir?
As far as I remember, I heard maybe once or twice.
Well, why didn't you leave right away?
Because I was trying to understand what she was wanting me to do.
She wanted you to leave.
Yes, I understand that, but she was speaking so fast, I was having trouble understanding her.
How long have you been working for this exterminating company, sir?
Approximately 5 to 6 months.
How much do you earn a day?
About $50 a day.
You have family?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of family do you have?
I have a wife and a young child.
How old's your child?
He's going to be a year in September.
How much money do you bring home a week?
Approximately $200.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes, it is.
Doesn't sound like a lot of money.
It's not.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Now, he makes $50 a day. He. The exterminating company, they make probably a lot more than $50 a day, right?
Yes, we do.
But you didn't sue them. You sued him. I think he made an honest mistake. I think he probably didn't act appropriately right away because he couldn't understand you. You were very upset. Should have left right away when she told you to leave.
I understand that.
You understand that?
Yes.
It's going to cost you 2 days' pay. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $100. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right, please. It's number 195 on the calendar in the matter of Pendleton versus Lehman. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
All right, Miss Pendleton, you say Mr. Lehman owes you $1,200 for something about a photo shoot, negatives, and a Harley motorcycle. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
I found it rather difficult to follow the flow of your complaint, so why don't you tell me about this photo shoot first?
Okay, well, basically, in June of 1996, Mr. Lehman approached me with a business opportunity. He told me that...
How did you know Mr. Lehman so that he could approach you?
Oh, he approached me at the bar and restaurant that I worked with. He'd been coming in there for approximately 2 years, and I've gotten to know him over that period of time. So in June, Mr. Lehman approached me. He stated that his motorcycle was going to be published in a magazine on the parts, the custom work he does on Harleys, and he needed a model to model with his motorcycle. He told me that the magazine that it was going to be published for was called Easy Rider. It was a biker magazine, and the pictures detailed, bikini, and some of them were going to be topless. And, I checked them out. They were a little cheesy, but not really bad. And I went ahead and I bought a copy of the magazine and the type of pictures that I was told I was going to be taking. At that point in time, I told Mr. Lehman I'd be interested in doing it. I was told that it would cost, I would be paid $1,200 if I did my own hair and makeup, and he would take the pictures.
So what you're saying is he said that he would pay you $1,200 to do the photo shoot?
Yes.
It's totally incorrect.
So, at that point in time, I went down to a shop probably in the middle of October, and we went ahead and took 2.5 rolls of film. I told Mr. Lehman that, one, I wanted the set closed because I didn't want a whole bunch of people, lagging about it, around. And the second thing is that once we were done with the shoot, that I get the negatives and the pictures back of the pictures that he wasn't going to use, because I just didn't want them, floating all over the place. The only reason that I didn't get a contract with Mr. Lehman is because I've known him for 2 years. I considered him a friend, and I thought I could trust him. If I would have known that it would come to this point, I would have had him go through my agency to get me to take these pictures. I have my portfolio book here with the type of shots that I normally do.
Not interested.
Okay.
I assume from the fact that you have a portfolio, and you said something about your agency, that you are really a model and you work in this restaurant that you work in sort of to make money.
Part-time. Yeah,
Part-time.
Try to.
In between modeling jobs. Is that correct?
Yes.
When you have a modeling job, you do the shoot and you get paid.
You do get paid, but it's a billing process. The agent bills the client, and you get it within 30 days.
Right. Now you're not dealing with an agent.
Yes.
You're dealing with a friend.
Yes.
So you do the shoot. Did you say to him, give me my money?
No, I expected that it would take between 2 to 3 weeks after it was published.
Why after it was published? When you do a magazine or a photo shoot, you do it, and they may publish it 6 months later. They may never publish it, but you get your money.
Well, because that's what Mr. Lehman had told me.
What did he tell you?
He told me that after I took the pictures, the magazine normally takes between 2 to 3 weeks to go ahead and pay. And that's what he was going to give the money for.
Something doesn't sound right there to me. You're not waiting for the magazine, Miss Pendleton, to publish your pictures. You don't give a rat's behind whether the magazine publishes your pictures or not.
No, that's true.
Right? You were doing the photo shoot for him.
Yeah.
Unless your arrangement with him was that you only got paid if the magazine bought the pictures.
Correct.
That's what he says in his answer. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
But he was saying that he was going to wait and give you the money until after he received the pictures were published. That's what he told me.
You can look at me with those gorgeous brown eyes all you like, Miss Pendleton, But I'm telling you, if you're in the business, you know that a magazine could say, I'm not publishing this picture. I don't like this lady. I don't like what she looks like. I don't like the bathing suit. I don't like her hair. I don't like her figure. I don't like her face, and I'm not going to publish the picture.
Yeah.
Right? So unless your agreement with Mr. Lehman was that you got paid if they selected your picture, your conversations with him about waiting until after the magazine was published doesn't make sense.
Okay, Your Honor, I would like to introduce a witness because Mr. Lehman had stated the conversation with another individual.
Oh, I will hear your witness. And your name?
Stacy Kirsten.
Who are you?
I used to work with Porsche at this bar and restaurant many months ago. And I met Jerry because he used to come in there once in a while, and he introduced himself to me with a business opportunity, which never really came to be, but he told me that he had done these pictures with her and that they were published, and he told me, quote unquote, he got a very good sum of money for the pictures.
Were the pictures ever published, sir?
No, ma'am.
So that you were just pulling this lady's leg?
I never told her that.
What'd you tell her?
I haven't never discussed Porsche's business with this woman. They are friends. I have met her. I have talked to her on occasions. I have never discussed any business with her at all.
Are you a photographer or a biker?
A biker, not a photographer. I met Porsche. She has done quite a few of these contests, bikini contests, different contests, and when I talked to her, she seemed to always be strapped for money. So I told her, this magazine right here, that if we took pictures and they accepted them, it pays $500, and it states it right in here. She gets $350, I get $150. I told her at that point, because we had an arrangement where I was building a motorcycle that I'd bought, and I planned on selling it to her way before this even happened. I told her that if they went in, she could have my $150, keep the $500. She told me at that point, fine, why don't we just deduct it from the bike?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He made a comment that if she had slept with him, you know, he would have given her the bike for free. God is my witness. He said that.
And later today,
He offered to pay you $12 for your cat.
$12.50, Your Honor. He tells me the cats are disposable.
I suppose he feels that same way about his dog.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jerry Lehman says he took topless photos of his friend Portia Pendleton so they could enter the pictures in a contest. Portia says she was to be paid no matter what.
She took the pictures, sir.
Yes, we took the pictures.
All right, so let's move on with it.
But she never filled out the release form and the other requirements, so they could not be sent in.
Did you ever fill out release forms?
No, and the reason that was never done is because I had never agreed to do a contest, and this is a letter that Mr. Lehman wrote me, and he states that a photo of you holding the signed release form with your driver's license is required. Now, if he's stating that I went down there knowingly to enter this contest, why was that never done? Because we had never had that type of agreement.
Well, just a second. Why didn't you ever sign the release when she came into the photo shoot?
To be honest with you, I didn't think about it. I've never done it before.
Good question.
Thank you.
I had not gone through their requirements and read all their requirements. All I knew is I had a few friends that had their girlfriends in the magazine. They said, send it in. When I went through and read everything after we took the pictures, got in touch with her and said, okay, we need to do this.
And what happened?
We never got it done. I didn't meet up with her.
What do you mean you never got it done?
I would only meet her where she worked.
So why didn't you bring it to where she worked?
She would only come in on certain days when she had a client. Lots of times I would go, she never showed up for work.
All right. Did you ever have a discussion with her about returning the negatives and all the other pictures to her?
No, ma'am.
Well, where are all the pictures and the negatives?
When I moved my facility in April, we cleaned out the office because I was moving into a small place. I threw everything away. It's 5 months after the fact. I didn't need it. I threw away a lot of my own stuff.
So you don't have them anymore?
No, ma'am.
You understand that if, in fact, any of these pictures surface, she now has the basis for a very substantial lawsuit against you. You understand that? Based upon what you just said to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to rethink that? Where are the pictures and the negatives?
I can only tell you the truth. They've been in the dumpster since April.
You better hope nobody takes them out.
Your Honor, he had even made comments to me when I discussed a business proposition with him. He made a comment that if she had slept with him, you know, he would have given her the bike for free. God is my witness, he said that. So, I mean, I think he has these pictures, and he did tell me they were published. He said
Just a second. Listen to me. If he told you at some time that the pictures were published, he made a lot of money, that's because he is a blowhard. Right?
It is true.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the $500 that you gave him for this bicycle.
Okay.
Did you give him $500 as a down payment for the bike?
Yes, I gave
Good.
him. And he gave me the key.
Did she give you $500 for the bike?
She has never given me a penny in her life. And what they need is lie detector machines sitting right here on each table.
Show me the canceled check for the $500 that you gave him.
I didn't give him a check, I gave him cash, but he gave me the key to the motorcycle, and he told me that he would deliver the motorcycle in a couple of weeks because it was having mechanical problems.
Where did you get the $500 from?
From working.
So you keep all the money that you make in cash?
Some of it, yes, and then, you know, when I do my modeling jobs, I have the checks and I deposit them into my account.
In a bank account? Mm-hmm. In a checking account, because that's where you keep the money that you receive, because you have to pay taxes on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You write checks for your rent, right?
That's true.
You write checks for your telephone,
But
right? Right?
That's correct.
You write checks for your credit cards, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you. It's Kate, I believe him. I believe that what you just agreed to do was to do a contest. I don't believe that he agreed to pay you $1,200 even if the pictures weren't published. That's a lot of nonsense. He's not a photographer, he's a biker. And I don't believe that you gave him $500. So your case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Back door to your right.
For a bottle of booze, you're going to give somebody a key to a $3,500 Harley Davidson, especially, you know, somebody that you're not in any type of relationship
She don't
for.
do any good without the motorcycle.
And now the next case.
Parties on Malcolm versus Tripp. Step forward, please.
Attorney John Malcolm says his cat Virginia was killed by his neighbor, Gerald Tripp's pit bull. Gerald has offered to pay $12.50 to replace the cat. But John says that is not enough.
Mr. Tripp, this is your dog?
Yes, ma'am.
Your dog killed the plaintiff's cat.
So they
You don't
say.
seem to deny that.
Well, I don't know that for sure neither.
Put your hands down, sir. From your answer to Mr. Malcolm's complaint, you sort of... Am I boring you?
Definitely. I apologize.
Well, then I'll try to make it as fast as possible. Mr. Malcolm, you two were neighbors?
Yes, we are.
I would like you to tell me what you observed. Give me the date of the incident.
July 29th, at about 1:15 in the morning, I was awoken by the loud barking of a dog and the scream of a cat. And this was a horrific scream. It wasn't like an ordinary cat fight. It was a bloody murder type scream. I got up out of bed, ran to the other end of the house, looked out the kitchen window, and in my field of view, which is about 30 degrees, I could see at least two people standing, not more than this distance from here to the dog, watching that dog attack our cat.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Tell him how you really
It
feel.
stopped.
Tell him, Malcolm. Come on. Tell him.
How do I really feel?
Tell him how you
I
feel,
would like to
Malcolm.
have a piece of him. I
Yeah.
really would.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. John Malcolm says he witnessed the killing of his cat by his neighbor Gerald Tripp's pit bull. Gerald says cats are disposable.
Where did this happen, sir?
This happened about 10 feet away from our front porch.
Okay, so it was on your property?
Yes, it was.
What did you do?
I ran to the back of the bedroom, got my pants and a flashlight, and ran out. And I think I said something like, "Hey, you guys just killed my cat." The dog was already gone at that point. He was already gone,
You mean the defendant?
the defendant. His brother Rodney,
That's this young man here?
yes, seated with the dog, and another young man, also with a close cropped haircut like that, turned and walked away. I knelt down and saw Virginia, and she was just ripped to shreds. She was crushed.
How long had you had the cat, sir?
I've had her for 12 years, and she's been a beloved family member. My wife and children have cared a great deal about her.
Okay, Mr. Tripp, I'll hear your side of the story, sir. I'm going to make this fast so that you don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Put your hands down.
I was woken up by my dad that said the cops were outside, wanted to talk to me about my dog killing a cat.
Listen to me. Slowly. You were awakened by your father.
Yeah, I was awakened by the old man. He woke me up, said, come outside. The cops want to talk to you about your dog killing a cat. So I went outside. I find this dude right here. He was kicking it. And then 2 cops and a dead cat. I get with my family, and they fill me in on what had happened.
Did you see what happened, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up here.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a little more articulate than your brother.
Yeah.
Yo, hold on to that dog.
Come here, man.
Put the dog on a leash.
The dog's on a leash.
And hold it. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, ma'am. I was woke by my friend Greg, the other witness that he mentioned. He came inside yelling that there was someone breaking into my vehicle. I went outside, and when I ran outside the front door, Max followed me. I observed the cat in the corner of my eye in my front yard. My dog ran over to the cat as I was running to the car. Ran to the car, I seen it got broke into.
Try looking at me.
The steering column and everything was busted out, and I could hear the cat screaming. So I look over, and next thing I know, he comes running outside. Your dog's killing my cat. Your dog's killing my cat. I was
But
like,
by
yes,
this time, sir, the dog and the cat were on his property.
The dog chased the cat onto his property.
The dog chased the cat onto his property.
Yeah, after it was in our front yard.
Sit down. So once this happened, which one of these 2 geniuses said to you, too bad about your cat, man?
This one.
Yeah, sounds right. All right, and he offered to pay you $12 for your cat.
$12.50, Your Honor.
Because
he tells
he
me
said-
that cats are disposable.
Mm-hmm.
One's as good as another.
I suppose he feels that way about his dog.
Your Honor?
You don't feel the same way about your dog?
Most definitely. Easy come, easy go.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Mr. Tripp, how old are you, sir?
22, ma'am.
22. And how do you support yourself?
Unemployed.
So you don't support yourself?
Correct.
How many times have you been arrested?
How many times have I been arrested?
That was my question. I understood my question.
You know, it's really, I want to say once. One time that I remember. He knows all about it. He was asking me about it the other day.
And who do you live with?
I live with my father.
Who else?
My dog. My brother. They're the members of our family.
Uh-huh.
Who do you live with?
You ever been in a drug rehabilitation program?
Man, that's none of your business, I feel.
Well, I'll tell you what is my business, Mr. Tripp. I'm awarding the plaintiff $1,500. It's more than he's requested for the damage that was done to his family emotionally, and the damage to his cat and the suffering that the cat suffered. Sir, you've only been arrested according to your statement once at this time in your life. You continue with that kind of an attitude when you're in court. I guarantee you this will not be the last time you're before a judge. That's all.
All right, excuse. You may step out. Calendar in the matter of Thompson versus Pack Dividget. Parties sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Thompson, you allege that the defendant ran you off the road, damaging your truck. He says you caused the accident. It was your fault. So I assume from these papers that you had some contact with each other before this incident happened. Is that right?
That's correct.
Well, tell me, what was the relationship between the two of you?
I do not really know him. I worked with his boyfriend, Felix, at an answering service, and Felix was to relieve me that day. I was in charge at my work, and he was calling saying that he was going to be late, and I got very upset because I had worked a 10-hour day, and he's always late, and so...
You're Felix?
Yes.
And so I got very upset and yelled at him. We yelled at each other, and I hung the phone up in his ear. Kevin is very protective of Felix and got angry with that, I guess. I don't know. I didn't have any contact with him until he hit my truck.
Well, tell me how that happened.
I was at work, and like I said, me and Felix had yelled at each other. And then I saw Kevin waiting downstairs, thinking he was just waiting for me to leave because I was in charge. So I was thinking he was
Just a
waiting.
sec. He said he's going to be late. You got very angry. You yelled at him on the phone and hung up. Waiting downstairs.
No, it was because she gets off right when he starts. And
waiting downstairs.
No, it was because she gets off right when he starts. And
so you drop him off. He goes inside to the house.
Well, actually, he didn't end up going in. They were right at the door, and they were arguing right there. And I was watching, you know, to make sure that nothing happened.
Okay, so they were still outside.
No, that's
it was like right by. They were inside the door, but I could see them.
Arguing.
And so they were arguing, right?
But then there came a time when he went in and she came out.
She came out, right, and I lit a cigarette, and then she made a U-turn and she went away. She drove in front of me, and I drove away.
So far
and
correct?
She made a U-turn and she went away. She drove in front of me, and I drove away.
So far
and
correct?
There's been lots of times when we've driven away at the same time before. So.
Okay.
No.
So tell me what happened.
On the computer. And that when he clocks in, I clock out to relieve each other. So we weren't standing at the door. We were already in our office. And he was waiting downstairs. It was a good 5 minutes that we yelled at each other, and I got to my car. I had to get in my car and drive all the way down a hill, told Felix that he was going to follow me. Well, anyways, where did you find that?
Sorry.
How did you find that out?
Because Janice, my boss's daughter, was staying at the house.
Well, you should have brought a witness because you can't tell me that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so you say
Kevin,
it was a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, a good 5 minutes.
And so tell me about what happened after he started to follow you.
Okay, it's in a gated community, and the speed limit's 35, and it's like a windy canyon road, and so I was going the speed limit 35. He was not stopping for any stop signs or anything. When I would stop, he would follow right behind me. And it's like a windy canyon road, and so I was going the speed limit 35. He was not stopping for any stop signs or anything. When I would stop, he would follow right behind me. I still didn't know what his problem was, so I kept going, and he passed me, which you're not allowed to do. It's just a 2-lane highway, and he passed me. So we get to a stop signal, and we had to each make a right. I don't know where he was going. So we get to a stop signal, and we had to each make a right. I don't know where he was going, but I had to make a right. And he had made a right as well, and I was behind him. We were in number 1 lane, and so he was going very, very slow. So I went in the number 2 lane. And as soon as I moved over, he swerved in front of me. And so I went back in the number 1 lane. But then a number 3 lane had opened. Are you following? And he went all the way over to the number 3. So he's a number 1, and he cut all the way in front of me and went to number 3. And he was following me very closely. And so I was
So now he's behind you?
Again, yeah, now he's behind me. And so I was going around a turn, and it was raining that day, so I was braking around the turn, and he smacked. And so I was going around a turn, and it was raining that day, so I was braking around the turn, and he smacks in the back of my truck. So I kept going. I was going to pull over. So as soon as I was starting to pull over, he smacked the back of my truck, which sent me spinning out of control, and I hit the center median. And then as soon as I hit the center median, I bounced off of it, sort of, I guess you would say, and he rammed the center of the driver's side 2 times.
You have pictures of the car?
Yes, I do, before and after pictures.
Let me see them, please.
Do you want them out of the album?
No, I don't mind looking at them in an album. Okay, sir. Let me hear your version of the events, please.
Okay, I had just left his work, both their work, and she was in front of me, and she was driving so slow, and she was doing it on purpose. So I go around her, and then I went to the light where I was supposed to make the right-hand turn, and she's behind me, and she's honking at me and honking at me. And so then I make a right-hand turn, and she's behind me, and she's totally tailgating me, and I make a left. And when I merged over into the number 2 lane, because the number 3 lane ended, she was in front of me. She was just like right there in front of me. So then I tried to squeeze over to get into the number 1 lane, and she tried to get into she was trying to get away from me, and I was trying to get away from her. We both ended up in the number 1, and I hit her, and then she spun out into the middle, and I ended up on the side of the road. And I went over to her side of the road, and she was just yelling at me, telling me, I'm going to get you for everything you've got.
I was unconscious. Sorry.
And so she drove away, and I mean, it was just a car accident, Your Honor. And the only reason we're really here today is because she hates me because I'm gay. And I mean, I've got witnesses here.
So she hates you because you damaged her truck.
No, well, she hit the brakes.
Just a second.
She hit the brakes.
Just a second. First of all, you didn't say that when you were just telling me your whole scenario. Your whole scenario ended with the fact that you had to change lanes.
Right. And I ended up behind her. I don't know how I ended up behind her, but she hit the brakes. That's how I.
Listen to me.
Okay.
Can you say I made a mistake?
No, yeah.
Good. Step up here. Listen to me very carefully, sir. Why were you going to be late?
Because I had to pick him up from work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I had to pick him up from work. I called her a half an hour before I had to be into work, and I told her I might be 5 minutes late. She gave me an attitude. She hung up the phone on me.
Had you ever been late before?
Yeah, I had been late in the past. I understand her.
Just a second. That's not right.
I understand. I understand, Your Honor.
She's worked 10 hours. He's got his problems. You've got your responsibilities, so she had a reason to be angry, correct?
Well, we both live together and we have one car, so...
She is not a partner in your misfortune.
I understand.
She wouldn't be a partner in your good fortune. She's not a partner in your bad fortune.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
If I told you you were a fat pig, wouldn't you be offended?
I wouldn't really care.
Okay.
I really wouldn't care. Your opinion does not matter to me.
It's the same thing.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Crystal Thompson says 19-year-old Kevin Paktovich stalked her and ran her truck off the road. Kevin claims the accident was her fault.
Now tell me what happened when you got there.
She was standing right there in between the couch and the wall in the office, and she was watching
where
TV.
is the office compared to
When
the
you
front
walk
door?
in, the living room's on this side, and then there's a door going into a den right here, and that's where the office is.
So it's off the front door.
Right. I walked into the office to clock in through the computer, and she was doing something in the kitchen. I think she was putting away her dishes. And then we had problems in the past with a conflict between each other. She's very controlling. She's very controlling.
Not interested in her being controlling.
Okay.
Mr. Padilla, you told me you clocked in. You told me she was putting away the dishes.
Right.
You told me...
I told her, basically, I want you to talk to me with the same respect that I talk to you. She goes, you know what, Felix, you need to get a life. You need to become responsible. And she slammed the door in my face.
This is in the office?
Yes.
So you had this conversation with her. She was in the kitchen, then she came back to the office. You had this conversation.
I wanted to say more to her just to get things settled, because we were working 2 weeks nonstop, just me and her.
Fine. Now you see, sir, when you lie, it always comes. When you lie, it always comes back to bite you in the behind. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because according to your witness, your witness supports her version of that day, not yours.
I understand what you're saying, but the office is right there at the front door.
Just listen to me. Not true according to your witness. They had a lengthy conversation. She wasn't even in the same room when he got there. She was in the kitchen.
Right.
Then she came back from the kitchen. All that takes time. So it's not, sir, as you suggest, that as soon as he walked in, they were standing right in front of the door and having an argument, and you were just waiting to see if everything was okay. So when you tell a fib, then you know what happens, sir? The person who's supposed to figure out the truth tends to doubt whatever it is that you're saying. You got it?
Yeah, I do.
Good. So now we get to the car. So now we get to somebody, so you're annoyed. You're annoyed because your friend is annoyed. And you decide, who are you?
I am his mother.
Whose mother?
Mr. Padilla's mother.
I do not know her.
Just a second. What information do you have from your first-hand knowledge about the events of that day?
My son had called me. I'm sorry. My son had called me at my residence and had told me what had transpired that evening and evenings before that led up to the situation this evening, Your Honor. Apparently there was sexual harassment taking place at the place of employment by this girl, Crystal.
That's what he told you?
On several different occasions, yes, Your Honor.
So why did he, let me ask you this question. Instead of staying there, because he shouldn't tolerate that sort of thing, Why didn't he either leave or bring a sexual harassment lawsuit? Why didn't he do
had
that?
asked me what he could do, Your Honor, and I had explained to him, you have one of two choices. Either leave the place of the employment or do a sexual harassment suit against her. He, in that evening,
I didn't
did
want to
quit.
leave work.
He did not
I
want
enjoyed
to
my
leave the
job.
work.
Your Honor.
This girl here called my place of employment
My
and
old place
harassed
of
me
employment.
and threatened me, and I filed a police suit against her.
When was that?
About,
Weeks
it was a couple of weeks after this took place and my son had quit his place of employment.
Why would she call your place? What did she say to you?
Crystal used to work at where I worked, and she was let go because of her performance and because of other suits that were filed against her with the clients for racism and what have you with the city of Temecula. And at that point, she had accused me of walking in and taking her hours from her.
Listen, we're getting a little far afield of this. Let me tell you.
It
we'll
does,
get-
Crystal.
Hey,
It
listen to
does.
me. Hey, don't talk to her. Talk to me. Let me tell you this. Your son, this young man here,
Yes, Your Honor.
has told me the whole truth so far about the events of this day. That's why we're here in court.
That is correct, yes.
That's why we're here.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe so far what he's told me. I think he's been honest. He knew he wasn't right not to get to work on time. It was irresponsible. She's not a partner in his trouble. This guy's a wise guy.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You gotta think before you act like a dope. How old are you?
19.
I gave you a certain amount because you're a young dope.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. She says he deliberately ran her off the road.
This guy's a wise guy. He waited for her outside, and he damaged her car.
But the reason that the situation took place, and I could see both sides, is that they were both angry because of the harassment and the things that she was saying to my son.
Let me tell you something. She didn't wait for him. He waited for her.
No, but they were both, from what I understand.
He waited for her. Why do you think, madam, he waited for her? What do you think that he was going to do when he waited for her? You don't know.
You're right, I don't.
Right. But common sense and what happened here suggests to me that he waited for her to harass her. And the best way to harass her was in the car, because he wasn't going to get into a shouting match with her. He figured, I'm going to harass her. Because he wasn't going to get into a shouting match with her, he figured, I'm going to harass her a little bit in the car. That's what happened. That's why he waited for her. Instead of avoiding confrontation, he instigated confrontation. And you cannot suggest to me, madam, that you believe that because of the problems that your son was having, if he was having those problems at work, he had the right to do that. He did not have the right to do that because somebody could have gotten killed, somebody could have gotten hurt, somebody other than the two of you. A 5-year-old who was crossing the street in front of you and you were acting like a lunatic.
Your Honor, I totally understand that. I know that I'm at fault for doing that, you know, I was being stupid and I was being childish, but she was doing the same thing. Because once we got out on the road, she was playing the same games with me.
You waited for her, sir, to do it,
I
right?
understand that.
Well, you didn't tell me that first. First, you gave me some C and B stories, sir, about, well, you both just happened to leave at the same time. That's what you told me first.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then you told me that you saw this
told you
big
that
argument.
I waited for the
Hey,
argument to be over.
Then you told me you saw this whole big argument at the front door when you saw absolutely nothing because he was in there a good 5 minutes before she left.
But they were...
But me no buts. Give me the estimates on your car.
Why aren't you over here?
Mr. Padilla,
Yes.
you look like a nice young man.
Yes.
He's a wise guy. Do you understand what I'm wise guys? You look like a nice young man. You have a nice mother.
I got an estimate for everything that's mechanically wrong with my truck, that it won't work now, and then what it would do to fix the body of it.
A lot of damage. Show Mr. Padilla's mother the picture of the truck. A lot of damage. Show Mr. Padilla's mother the picture of the truck.
And the two after that, too. It's not just a little accident.
And you have some insurance coverage, is that right?
No, I have none.
Why don't you have insurance?
It canceled a month before because I was going to sell this car. Now, obviously, I can't, but I was selling
How much did you pay for the car? For the
My
truck?
dad paid $1,300 for it, but put thousands of dollars into it.
Paid $1,300?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no way, madam, that I am going to give you, what are you asking for, $5,000?
Correct. That's way less than what it's going to cost me to fix my truck.
Show me the bills for what your father put into it.
I don't have those.
Well, I can't help you.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
How long ago did you buy this car?
In '93. It was my first car when I was 16.
And what year car is it?
'82.
Okay. I'm giving you $1,300, which is what you paid for the car a very long time ago. Very few cars appreciate in value. They depreciate in value, yes.
Is there any, can I say anything about the threatening phone calls that I got from her? And what caused me to quit my job? The kind of things she said to me?
Just a second. Wait 1 second.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Shh, shh, shh. He asked me a question. And I'm looking. Just a second. Did you file a counterclaim, sir?
I can't do it because...
Did you file a counterclaim?
No.
You have a lawsuit pending against her?
No.
Well, it might be interesting as to why you quit your job.
Well, that night after
while it might be interesting, sir, it's something that is not germane to this proceeding. She damaged her truck, and she can only establish to my satisfaction that she paid $1,300 for the truck. Nobody disputes that. You can't buy much for less than $1,300. But you got to think before you act like a dope. How old are you?
19.
Listen, I gave you a certain amount because you're a young dope, right? But a car in the hands of somebody who is using it other than for transportation is like a weapon. You don't settle grudges with a car or a truck, right? You don't do that. It's not smart. That's how a lot of people get into trouble. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Case number 436 on the calendar in the matter of Melnick versus Sperry. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Mrs. Melnick, this is your former daughter-in-law, is that correct?
Correct.
And what you're suing her for is for the return of some appliances that you say are yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
And are in her possession.
Yes, Your Honor.
How long were you married to, you're the son?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Tim.
this is my son.
Your last name?
Mangan.
Sit down. How long were you married to him?
7 years.
And you have 2 children?
3.
3 children. So, Miss Melnick, you want to tell me why you think these appliances are worth suing your former daughter-in-law for?
Well, when they wanted to buy my home, which was worth $51,500, they tried to assume the mortgage, and they couldn't. And I have the original agreement. None of my appliances went with the home. Melinda sent a letter on November 10th.
Okay, so let's start.
Okay.
When they were married, they wanted to purchase your home.
Right.
Right?
Melinda did.
Not your son?
No. She did.
Okay. And the appliances did not go with the house?
No, they did not.
Okay, but you left them in the house?
Yes.
And what was the arrangement?
That, my son will tell you.
No, you tell me. You're
okay,
plaintiff.
with that, I let them use them until they would purchase their own or whatever they needed to do if they wanted to purchase appliances. That's the way it went.
No, we had another house, and we bought her house because she couldn't afford it anymore. She, for some reason, won't work. And her other son moved into our second home, And she cried that he doesn't have any appliances and this and that. We left our appliances over at that house for him. And she says that we could have her appliances so he could have appliances.
Okay, because I didn't quite understand that. You turned over your old house to the plaintiff's other son.
Yeah, he's renting it from my ex-husband.
Okay, and that other house was in his name? Your former husband's name?
Yes.
And you left all of your appliances there?
Yes.
So when you moved into your mother-in-law's house, you had her appliances? Fine. Then there came a time when you were supposed to exchange these appliances. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
And you say you returned a refrigerator first.
Yes, I had hired movers to return these things.
How old is your
Melinda has been, she beat me up 1994.
I have the
she
restraining
beat me up. I have.
Miss Melnick.
She's caused nothing but trouble with the family.
Miss Melnick, I read the papers. She has a restraining order against you, is that right?
That's correct.
Now, so your other son was living in the house and you ordered a mover to take over the refrigerator from the old house to her house. Did you look at the refrigerator first?
No, I was not allowed to go near any of that area.
I didn't ask you whether you looked at it in her house. I asked you whether you looked at it in your son's house.
No, Your Honor.
Well, she says that that refrigerator was delivered in deplorable condition. It was filthy, it had mold in it, and it had dead fly in it, and she refused to accept it. Why are you raising your hand? Did you see the refrigerator?
Yes, Your Honor.
At your brother's house?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, step up here.
Thank you. Prior to the furniture to be delivered, I also cleaned the refrigerator and everything else, and then Melinda refused it, and it returned back to my brother's house. They recleaned it again.
Well, why did they have to reclean it, sir?
Supposedly...
Not supposedly. Why, if it was recleaned, it was cleaned for a reason. Why was it recleaned?
Because she wouldn't accept it.
No, it was recleaned because it had mold on it.
Well, she stated that it had a fly in it, Your Honor.
If it had a fly in it, sir, you take a little tissue. You
Right.
pick up the fly and you throw it away.
I did not see any mold on it or anything. I did clean it the first time, and then I made sure my brother cleaned it. The second time, they took it back over there. The third time, she refused it. I also had other appliances to replace that are in excellent condition, like the washer and dryer, refrigerator, stove, everything that was supposed to be returned to her, and she refused every one of them.
All right, sir. Now let me ask you this question. If all those things were in wonderful condition, is that what you're saying to me? The refrigerator was in wonderful condition?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why in the world would you want to return them to her?
The reason being is that I didn't want any more friction between my ex-wife and my mother anymore.
Well, just a second. Let me stop you right there. You say the appliances that are now in the home that your brother is living in
Yes, Your Honor.
are in great condition.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what about the appliances in your home? Are they in great condition?
Yes, I keep my stuff clean.
So they're nice and clean, right?
Yeah.
Well, everybody should be happy. What do you have to pay movers for? You have great appliances, and you have great appliances. Why do you have to move them from one place to another? Why don't you just say, well, I got great appliances, I got great appliances, let's just call it a day. We both have what we need.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Well, look at the way you're looking at her. I wouldn't want you around me either.
Well, I don't want her near me either, Your Honor.
And later today,
You can afford to go on dates. Ask them when's the last time we've been able to do anything because we're paying off $8,000. They are your children. Help us.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Patricia Melnick is suing her former daughter-in-law, Melinda Sperry, for the return of her appliances.
So why are you here except to annoy each other?
We were going, eventually we were going to move all the appliances from the other house that my brother is renting from us into the new house that we purchased from my mother.
Right.
And she was supposed to receive all her appliances. My mother was supposed to receive all her appliances back.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Right. However, you just told me that
Melinda,
all of the appliances that were left in your brother's house
were to be returned, and she
are
refused.
fine, perfect, nice and clean, nothing wrong with them.
No.
I don't understand why you're annoying each other.
Your Honor, may I please speak? I have pictures of what she wanted someone to spring clean. I'll show you what she gave us.
You don't seem to understand what I'm saying to you, madam. I don't understand, Grandma, why you're here. If your son has nice appliances in his house, and she has nice appliances in her house, and you have 3 grandchildren, right? Then you're only here to annoy each other. And I don't understand that. Especially when you're supposed to, as a grandmother, make things nice instead of make things difficult.
I did, Your Honor.
No,
I sold
no,
my
no,
house
no, no.
cheaply.
No,
Extremely
no, no.
cheaply.
Listen to
I
me.
have a police
It's
report.
time to put a stop to it. This is over appliances. Appliances are a lot of baloney, and I see absolutely no basis to irritate each other. If you want the appliances from your son's house, take them. Take them, and then he'll buy new ones. Now, I'm going to get to something that seems to me even more important. You made 3 children together?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're supposed to love your children more than you hate each other.
I love my children dearly.
And
but
you too.
She doesn't let me see them.
You too. You are supposed to love your children more than you hate each other.
I take child support, and
you don't.
Hey,
she doesn't let me.
mother-in-law, you're not being smart. You're supposed to stay out of it.
Yes, ma'am.
You're supposed to stay out of it.
After
I guarantee you that you don't know everything that went on in their home.
No.
I have married children, and I guarantee you, I don't know everything that goes on in their home. So you are a fool if you butt in. You're a fool if you butt in when they're married. You're a fool when you butt in when they're not married anymore. Because what happens is she gets mad at you, and you don't see your grandchildren.
Exactly. She
Of course. Of course. Well, look at the way you're looking at her. I wouldn't want you around me either.
Well, I don't want her near me
Listen
either,
to me.
Your Honor.
I'm telling you.
Not after she beat me up.
I'm telling you. I also know that a court gave her a restraining order against you.
But that doesn't stop her from calling my home and irritating me.
Miss Melnick.
And the reason why I'm not
Miss
working
Mel-
is because of her.
Miss Melnick, you just don't get it.
Yes, I do, ma'am.
You just don't get it.
I get it.
You are going to be without 3 grandchildren. Now, he's supposed to see his children.
No, he has terms which he is supposed to fulfill before he sees them.
Do you mean support?
I pay child support.
No.
What kind of terms?
Well, he just come out of drug rehab, so that's one. Then he's supposed to have 10 weeks of parenting classes. And it goes back to supervised visitations.
Okay. Were you an inpatient in drug program, sir?
I was a mental depression breakdown because I didn't. After the incident that occurred.
You don't go into it. Listen to me.
I haven't seen my children.
Listen to me.
Yes, Your Honor.
It says in the order that you are to go to parenting classes, and until you finish satisfactorily those parenting classes and remain drug-free, that you will only have supervised visitation. So am I to assume that you have not gone to the parenting classes?
I attended the first of parenting classes, and in the decree of divorce, it said that if I do not fulfill the parenting classes, which are 5, not 10, that I still have supervised visitation. And then after I fulfill the parenting classes, I have unsupervised visitation.
Sir, how long ago were you divorced?
It's been a year, October 14th, Your Honor.
Are you
last
telling
year.
me that in the past year you could not go to 5 parenting classes?
Your Honor, I work second shift, and there is no way that, no, I couldn't. Because in the divorce decree, we finally settled on that in October, and I work as a custodian, and I work evenings.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You don't need my stove because you don't even know how to cook. If it doesn't come out of a box or a can, you don't do it.
What time's your broom fly away?
And later today,
How can I give you what I don't have?
How can you let this man pay your bills?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Patricia Melnick is suing her former daughter-in-law, Melinda Sperry, for the return of her appliances.
Listen to me, sir. You have 3 children. One way or another, you find 4 days in a year to complete parenting classes if you are legitimately interested in seeing your children. You have vacation. You take time off without pay to see your 3 children. if that's the prerequisite, and clearly, based upon what I'm hearing, without going into all of the gory details, you had certain problems, and the judge was comfortable in saying to you, if you want to see your children in an unsupervised fashion, you have to do these things. And from what you're telling me, in a whole year, you have not been able to find 5 days to complete parenting classes.
And she still hasn't let me see the children, even under the stipulation, to see the children with supervised visitation.
Well, sir, that's wrong. And I'm telling Miss Sperry that it's important for the children to see their father. You got it?
Oh, yes, it is.
You got it? And
Yes,
what
Your
I'm
Honor.
telling you is, if you want to be a father, instead of a supervised father, then you make time to finish whatever prerequisites the court set for you seeing your children, and don't stand there and complain that you're too busy. If you can't find 5 days to go to parenting classes, I don't know when you're going to find 5 days to see your children. That's your responsibility. But I would, more importantly, I would try you and your mother to sit down and to decide that you better stop. You too. Stop what's going on, because that's not good for the children. You know?
Your Honor, on December 11th, her boyfriend and her damaged my husband's car. I have a police report.
Oh, you know, you just
Out
don't
of
get it,
spite.
Miss Melnick. Your lawsuit's dismissed. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you. You don't know how to take care of those kids. You don't need my stove because you don't even know how to cook. If it doesn't come out of a box or a can, you don't do it.
What time's your broom fly away?
Same time yours does, baby.
And now the next case.
Parties on Boldazar versus Jarvis. Step forward, please.
39-year-old Julie Boldazar wants her ex-husband, cable TV installer Lee Jarvis, 52, to pay the medical costs for their son's broken hand.
How long have you folks been divorced?
4.5, almost 5 years.
And how many children did you have together?
2.
Ms. Baltazar, according to your complaint, one of your sons was visiting with his father.
Yes.
And was injured.
Yes.
Playing in the backyard.
Yes.
You want him to cover half of the medical costs that were not reimbursed by your insurance.
Absolutely.
You say it's not your responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
Whose responsibility is it?
That's a good question, Your Honor.
I only ask good questions.
In our divorce decree, it does not say I'm responsible for medical and dental.
Just a second. In your divorce decrees, does it say that your former wife is responsible for medical and dental?
No, ma'am, it's not.
So your divorce decree is silent as to who's responsible for medical and dental.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes.
So your former wife says, I am prepared to pay half. Took 2 of you to make a child. I'm prepared to pay half of the medical costs. Doesn't that sound right to you, sir?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
That was easy.
Pretty easy.
Can I see the unreimbursed medical bills, please? Did you add up the unreimbursed amounts?
Yes, I believe it was $1,984.
Total?
Total, yes.
So he owes you for half of that?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, I believe so, too.
Thank you.
When the divorce judgment is silent, Mr. Jarvis, it seems to me you're a parent. You pay child support?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How much do you pay in child support?
The payment is $511 a month.
For 2 children?
Yes, ma'am.
And who carries the insurance for the boys?
My husband, my current husband.
That's really not a lot of money for child support for 2 children. How old are the boys?
15 and 17.
$992. So that's what he owes you for that.
Thank you.
Now, there's another part of your claim that I don't quite understand.
Okay.
You want to explain it to me?
Sure. Both of the boys have, and I'm not sure of the medical term, but in layman's terms, extremely difficult orthodontic cases. Because my husband does carry orthodontic insurance as well on the boys, when it was presented to those orthodontists, they were not able to help us and had to refer us outside of the insurance system. And so we had to seek the services of very skilled orthodontists as well as jaw surgeons. My oldest son in particular is going to have a jaw surgery, which is horrible, very grotesque. Anyway, we didn't really have a choice. This is not a cosmetic situation. This is a medical condition. Because
well, if it's a medical condition, madam, why don't you take that up with your insurance company? Because no insurance company can disclaim, because if you say that this is a very serious condition.
Right.
HMOs very often try to disclaim.
Yes.
What you have to do is you have to fight them. They can't say, we don't have doctors to fix the problem, and the problem is too serious, therefore you have to pay for it. That sounds ridiculous to me.
Right.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Well, in this case, Mr. Jarvis, you owe your former wife $992 for the unreimbursed medical bills of your son who was injured. I'm going to suggest to you, sir, that it doesn't look to me by the size of your boys that you have much longer to go with regard to your financial responsibility for them. That means you have to take a second job. Do it. That's what parents have to do. But these are your boys, and minimally half of the responsibility, especially since your former wife's husband is paying for the medical insurance, at least half of the bills that aren't covered by insurance have to be considered yours. Do you understand that?
I understand that.
Okay, thank you, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Your Honor, this is case number 455 on the calendar in the matter of Armas versus Camacho. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats.
This suit has to do with an assault.
That's correct.
And damages that you are asking for.
Yes.
For an assault that occurred about 2 years ago.
Yes, that's correct.
You were both in high school at the time, is that right?
Yes.
Did you know each other in high school?
Yes, we did.
So there was a lot of gossiping. That's what this all started about.
Yes, ma'am.
And you went to her house.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you tell me why?
There's just been a lot of hatred between me and Amanda, and it just got to the point where it needed to be stopped. Not stopped like what had happened, but we needed to talk about it, and what came out of it was a fight.
That's all very soft. Why was there a lot of hatred?
Just gossip, just talking trash about each other.
Like what?
Just basically, she would tell someone that she didn't like me or that. Your Honor, I never told anyone.
Shh. You mean she told people she didn't like you?
And vice versa. I did the same about her. We didn't like each other since like the 8th grade.
Good, so you didn't like each other. What caused you to get in a car and go to her house?
On Halloween, we were out trick-or-treating, and it was a bunch of us, and we started like joking about it.
Joking about what?
Going to Amanda's house and confronting her. And we ended up doing that. We ended up going to her house. She came outside, and we started talking about it. We started arguing back and forth.
Well, just a minute. Did you knock at the door? How did she come outside?
2 of my friends called her outside.
And she came outside?
Mm-hmm.
She by herself?
No, she was with a friend.
She was with one friend?
Yes.
And how many friends were you with?
Quite a few. I couldn't tell you exactly.
And how did you get close enough to her to get physical?
Well, my witness confronted her first and just said that we needed to talk about a couple things.
We needed to talk?
That me and Amanda needed to talk about a couple things because of all the problems that we had between each other.
Yeah. And then what happened?
And then I went out there, and we started arguing back and forth.
What do you mean you started arguing? Let's hear about
I asked her about the things that she was telling people.
That she didn't like you?
Right.
And what did she say to you?
She denied everything.
So, what was next?
And we just continued to argue back and forth, and then someone pushed her into me. And that's when we began to fight.
Someone that you were with?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you hit her?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't do that. You think that you were right?
No, I don't justify that, but there's only so much you can take from anybody.
So far, I didn't hear anything terrible. I didn't hear anything terrible.
When people are talking about you, it tends to get on your nerves. And
Get used to it. People aren't always going to say, oh, she's lovely, Miss Camacho, she's lovely, she's sweet, I like her, she's the best thing in the world since, you know, apple pie. They're not going to say that all the time.
There's people that are going to talk about you, yes, but when they constantly do it, it's going to bother you.
So it bothers you. It bothers you. There are lots of things that bother Bird. How were you injured?
I was diagnosed with a malalignment in my back, and I had a black eye.
Excuse me. The black eye, yeah, I can take that, but I'm not the one that kicked you in the back. I'm not the one that sent you to the chiropractor.
Who did?
Someone that was with me, which and later on became her friend.
But somebody that you brought there kicked her in the back. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times were you either kicked or punched?
I don't remember. Everything went so fast, Your Honor, but I do remember it was repeatedly. If you'd like, I have x-rays here and also...
X-rays. If I could read x-rays, I wouldn't be here.
I also have pictures.
Pictures I can read. You don't want to say anything.
Yes, I do.
Oh, God. She wants to say something.
I don't think it's a good idea, Judge.
Oh, please. Why don't you step up here? Tell me who you are.
Regina's friend, Valeria Barca. I was there at the time when they fought.
What do you have to contribute to this case, madam?
That she did not kick her in the back. I was there. I grabbed the girl off for her, and I was the one who broke them up.
Are you wonderful? Sit down.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
No, my daughter, she doesn't lie to me. She is very honest with me. I've taught her that.
Your daughter came home and told you exactly what happened that night, Miss Camacho, because the police were involved.
And later today,
On the way up there, she stopped at a liquor store, and all three of us were drinking up there. But
You're supposed to be the designated driver, not the designated drunk driver.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. High school student Amanda Armas is suing another student, Regina Camacho, for assault.
Is this your daughter? Yes. Could you step up here, please? What did you do to her after she did this?
When she came home to tell me that she had done this, I restricted her. I reprimanded her.
What did you mean you restricted her?
I restricted her for a month from going out having any social activities, and I told her it was wrong for her to have gone to this girl's house to do what she did. At the time that she did what she did, it was at the spur of the moment. She wasn't thinking. When she came home, she understood it was wrong.
And she came home and told you about it?
Yes, she told me right away as soon as she got home that night.
Did her mother call you?
Her mother did not call me. I had no contact from them until later when the police tried to contact us. They never did call us again. But I was more than willing to settle anything that they wanted.
That's not true.
No, because I never heard from you.
I'm curious to find out what happened with the police. Could you step up here? You're her mom.
Yes.
Did you report this matter to the police?
Yes, ma'am, right away.
What happened with the police? Because this was very fuzzy in the complaint.
Okay, when the police came, the police had stopped them already once, but they didn't know what had happened yet. So when they came to my house, they told us, and we described them to the police, and they said, oh, well, we just stopped them. They were running. We stopped them and asked them why they were running. They said, oh, somebody scared us. Right.
Well, why wasn't this complaint ever followed up?
It was.
By the police?
There is a police report.
But she was never arrested?
No.
They said that they contacted her father, and her father said that she had left Las Vegas
Right.
and got married.
That is not true.
I mean, it was very strange to me why the police never followed up on this assault. They certainly should have. That doesn't necessarily mean she's got to go to jail for 7.5 to 15, but
exactly.
It certainly means that there should be some indication that this is the kind of activity she's involved with, because I'm looking at the smirk on her face, right? And it's irritating. So, Mrs. Camacho, they're suing for damages. Now your daughter looks like a perfectly healthy young woman, which means that she goes to school and she should get a part-time job in the afternoon in order to pay these damages.
She is working, Your Honor.
Good. Then she's going to pay for damages because she's responsible for the injuries to this young lady. But she is going... Yes, you want to say something?
But her depression and her withdrawal from school being afraid to go to school because she was constantly harassed to where she, up to this day, doesn't go to
Miss
school.
Armas, your mom says that you withdrew from school.
Yes.
Is that after this attack?
Yes, it was.
Why did you withdraw from school?
Because everywhere I walked down the hallways, they were always teasing me, always telling me things.
Or harassing her.
Harassing me.
Who was?
Regina.
Her friends and her.
Oh,
just a second. Like what?
Asking me what I'm doing next Halloween, asking me how my eye was, asking me if my back was okay. Very
But in a smirky
sarcastic.
way. Yeah, sarcastic way.
So you dropped out of school?
Yes.
You didn't drop out, you changed schools?
Went independent study.
How had your grades been before?
I was an honor roll student. I have been my whole life.
What?
Your Honor, I don't believe that my daughter still continued to harass her because the
You weren't
harassment.
there.
She harassed
You
me
weren't
for
there.
years.
Because I know I wasn't there, but I know my daughter. She doesn't lie to me. She is very honest with me. I've taught her that.
Your daughter came home and told you exactly what happened that night, Miss Camacho, because the police were involved. If the police had not been involved, your daughter would have told you nothing. And there isn't a question in my mind that after this incident was over, they continued to make her life miserable when she was in school. She and her friends. But she started it, which means they destroyed what sounds to me was a very successful career in high school. Because socially, if you're taunted when you're in high school and if it's uncomfortable, you just don't want to go back. So your daughter's going to pay for that. And you're going to pay for it. If you're smart, you'll make your daughter make up the money. But they're suing for $5,000. And I'm giving it to them. Judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Back there to your right, please.
And now the next case.
Parties are Eastwood versus Orozco. Step forward, please.
18-year-old Maria Eastwood is suing her friend, 20-year-old Sylvia Orozco, for wrecking her car after a night of drinking.
Miss Eastwood, you and the defendant, according to your complaint, were out for an evening, doing a little drinking, partying, bar hopping. Is that right?
Correct.
She was the designated driver?
Yes.
And she wrecked your car?
Yes.
You want her to pay for the damage?
Yes, I do.
She says she gave you some money. Did you give her some money?
Yes, I have receipts right here.
How much did she give you?
$600.
Actually, it's $750 because Carissa, my witness right here, she was there that night, and she paid for the impound because the car got impounded, and it was $175 or something like that, and I gave Carissa $150, so that went towards her car too. So it's $750.
Excuse me.
Talking about for the damage to the car. You gave her $600 for the damage. Correct?
Plus the.
I don't want to bring Chris up here. You look as if you're freezing.
No,
Miss Carissa.
not yet.
Huh?
Not
Did you
yet.
know you were coming to court today? Carissa, hey! You think that that's an appropriate outfit to wear to court?
Yes,
Did your
that's
dress
what I did.
split, or is that the way you put it on this morning?
That's the way it is.
Better just sit right where you are.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
If you're going out with girlfriends and you're going to act like morons and drink, right? Take a cab. Take a cab.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Maria Eastwood wants her friend, Sylvia Orozco, to pay damages for her crashed car after a night of drinking.
Now, how much was the car to be fixed?
The total damage, Your Honor, was
I want to see the estimate.
$2,507. I have every estimate, everything that's been paid towards the car. I have pictures, my statement, the police report, the impound, everything that you can need is all there.
Now, you want to explain to me why you think you're not responsible for all the damage to this car?
Because I was doing a favor as to her because she got drunk, and then when they told me to go get the car, I went to go get the car, they left, they took a taxi cab somewhere else. I waited for half an hour in the area thinking that they would call me, they never did. So I drove her car all the way back to Carissa's house. And then from there, finally that got a page, and that's when I drove to get her because she ended up going home with some guy. So I went to go pick her up, and that's when I got in the accident. I was trying to get her because she was drunk, she was throwing up on the
Tell
street.
me about the accident.
The accident was, I was driving on 880, the freeway, and I was turning onto 101, and there was a car in front of me, and she ran out of gas, and it was raining really hard, so when I pressed on the brakes, it I just kept going.
So you were going too fast to stop.
I was only going 15.
You hit the other car in the rear.
Yeah.
So it was your fault.
Excuse me, Your
So
Honor.
yeah, it was
What?
my fault.
I believe that Sylvia did tell me the next day that she was driving a little too fast, but I have no proof to that documentation.
Doesn't make any difference. She damaged your car. Now, what kind of car was this?
A 91 Geo Storm.
91 Geo.
Correct.
Did you buy it new?
No, it's secondhand. But
And how much did you pay for it?
$5,500.
How many estimates did you get?
I only have one estimate listed in there, which is the body work.
Is your car currently being fixed?
Body work? No, I don't have the money to pay for the body work.
What did you do with the $600 she gave you?
Oh, she paid me 4 installments of $150, and that went towards the amount paid to fix the engine. When she wrecked the car, she wrecked the front end.
Clearly, there's a lot of damage to this car.
Yeah.
The estimate that you got for $2,500 is not outrageous, considering the kind of damage that you did to
Yeah,
this
but
car.
I mean, she gave me the one estimate from the bodywork, which was $630, and she never gave me anything else after that. So I mean,
Did you tell her how much it was?
Yeah, she told me, but how do I know?
Things happened gradually. I thought when the car first broke down, it was towed to a shop.
All right, I don't want to go into it. Listen.
It's a long story. But if she was getting money,
I
if
was
she was
trying
going
to
to
pay
pay
for
me
it. I
money,
got 2 jobs
she
to
should
pay
have
for
asked,
it.
Your Honor. She should have asked for proof. She should have. I offered.
I asked you proof, and you said you were going to bring it to me
do me a
when
favor.
you pick up
Just
money.
to be quiet, please. I'm really
Thank
tired
you.
today. $2,500 based upon what I see. When you come to court, you should have 3 estimates, not just one.
I'm sorry.
Do you understand?
This is my first time in court.
How long ago did this happen?
November 22nd.
23rd.
Were you pretty drunk that night? Right here.
I drank too much, past my limit.
How
I
old
know
are
my
you?
limit. 19.
How old were you then?
18.
You didn't drink at all?
I had some when we first left. On the way up there, she stopped at a liquor store, and all 3 of us were drinking up there. But
You're supposed to be the designated driver, not the designated drunk driver.
I wasn't drunk.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
And how old were you then?
20.
Let me tell you something. There is nothing less feminine, less attractive than a young woman drunk. Nothing. Nothing that I could think of right away, anyway. I'm sure there are things that are less attractive.
Tell me about it.
Of course, it slits up into your navel is pretty unattractive in court. In any event, you were supposed to be the designated driver. You didn't do the right thing. You were certainly older than she was.
I felt
by
like
a couple
I was
of...
doing the right thing.
No,
I
you
was
weren't.
helping
If you're
her
the
out.
designated driver, madam, you're not supposed to have any alcohol. Designated driver is the person who's not supposed to drink any alcohol.
But I wasn't going to be the designated driver because I have a restricted license. I knew I couldn't drive. I never said to her, yes, I'll be your designated driver. She just kept saying she wanted me to drive.
$2,500. She gave you $600. That leaves $1,900. Now, I want to tell you something. I think that because you own a car at age 18, you have a certain responsibility. And one of the responsible things that you have to do as a car owner is to make sure that the car is not used in an irresponsible way. And the only way you can do that, madam, is if you're not drunk. If you want to drink, take a taxi cab. You used your car. What?
I took the responsible action, and I decided if I'm going to drink, I'm not going to drive. I think that's a responsible decision at my age.
But you knew I
There are
can't drive.
55-year-olds that go out and drink and still attempt to drive. I knew if I'm going to drink tonight, I'm not going to drive.
But she knew I had a restricted license,
No,
so
I
why
did
did
not
she
know.
put it up on me?
Excuse me, I did not know. If I did, I wouldn't have.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
You also gave her $150, is that right, to get the car out of impound? Nah, I'm going to give you credit for that.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Excuse me, that's included in the $600.
No, it's $750.
You gave me 4 payments.
I gave you 4 payments. I paid Carissa $150 for the impound because Carissa paid for the impound. So
Well,
that's a total
I
of
didn't receive that.
$750.
Just a
That's
second, but you had to get your car out of the pound,
Okay,
didn't you?
that's fine.
You had to get your car out of the pound. In total, if I were to find that she was responsible for the entire amount, she would have to give you $1,750. But I find that you were at least partially responsible for going out, getting drunk as a skunk so that you couldn't drive your own car. So I'm going to give you $1,500. Judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you.
Back door to your right, please. Down on the calendar in the matter of Clifton versus Clifton. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Well, this certainly sounds like a family tragedy. Mrs. Clifton, this is your daughter-in-law, your son's wife?
Yes, ma'am.
You claim that you advanced to her or loaned her $2,500 for a lawyer when
Yes,
she was
ma'am.
incarcerated.
Yes, ma'am.
That she has had a serious history of substance abuse.
Yes, ma'am.
As a result of that, you are caring for her children, and you also want $2,500 for the care of her children.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how long your son and daughter-in-law were married.
They've been married approximately 4 years. They have 2 little boys, one 3, 1 year and a half old. She moved into my home in October, and I didn't really realize how bad her problem was until...
When you say she moved into your home, where was your son?
He was living there also, already. He had moved in September. The boys moved in October. She moved in around the 1st of November.
Was it after she had moved in with you that she was incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now tell me how this lawyer's bill came about.
Her problem started with me, that I knew that she had a bad problem, was in December and January, where she would want to get high or take off and drink, and she'd climb out the window. We reported her missing person one time. She was gone for like 5 or 6 days. And through the whole month of January, I think she left the house like 3 to 4 times and didn't say where she was going, when she would be back. Didn't even tell us she was going. One day she climbed out my bathroom window.
Would you tell me about the lawyer, please?
Then she got locked up.
When?
February the 18th of '97.
Okay.
So I had gone to Lancaster to her court hearings like 3 to 4 times, and they were putting her in state prison. So she calls me and tells me to go talk to her previous lawyer about seeing if they could not get her into a rehab place or getting her out of jail.
She was, in fact, in jail at that time when she called you.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you say a previous lawyer, she had a previous arrest history?
Yes, she's got 2 felony marks against her already.
For drugs?
One for, I don't know what they call it. She wrote some kind of a check and deposited it into her bank account.
Okay.
2 or 3 days later, drew the money out. The bank noticed that it was not a true bank account.
Okay.
Okay. That's 1 felony mark. June, I think it was, of '96. She got picked up for possession.
Of drugs?
Right.
Okay, and this
They locked her up 2 weeks then.
All right, so the attorney who had represented her in this previous matters was the attorney she wanted you to go to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you knew who that attorney was?
Yes, ma'am.
So you went to the attorney, and what was his retainer?
His retainer was $2,450, $2,450.
And how much did you, in fact, pay him?
On March 4th, I paid him $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
I have the receipt right here.
Okay.
And in May 6th, I paid him another $550.
Mm-hmm.
Here's both the receipts.
Okay, so let's deal with try to keep it simple. Let's talk about the attorney's fees first. In your answer, you will say that you are not responsible for these attorney's fees. You want to tell me why?
I got incarcerated because I violated my probation because I had a dirty test back in '96. So I knew I was going to get some time in February when I went. And there's nothing a lawyer could do for me that a public defender couldn't. But I guess my husband kept telling my mother-in-law that he wanted to get me out because I was in there longer than they figured I should have been. And she called me and asked me what the name of the lawyer was and what the number was, and so I gave it to her. I did not call her and ask her because I can't afford it. There's no way I can pay for it. That's why I didn't ask her to get a lawyer because I just wanted a public defender.
Uh-huh.
Just like...
If I believe you, that you didn't call her and ask her to contact this other lawyer, what did you think she wanted the lawyer's name and telephone number for?
Because my husband asked her to get it for her, because he wanted her to get a lawyer to get me out of there, because he was missing me, and he said he'd do anything to get me out of jail.
Let me ask you
But
this
I knew I
question.
couldn't get out. I had to...
Now, let me ask you this question. So you're saying me she called you and asked you for that?
No,
Is
I
that right?
called her, and she asked me, when I was talking to her, she asked me the name.
Well, now you just changed it. You said she called you and asked you.
No, she can't call me in jail.
Of course
I
she
called
can't.
her.
Of course she can't. Did this lawyer, in fact, represent you?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah, he took the place of the defendant, or I mean the public defender.
So you knew that this lawyer was a retained lawyer, was being paid, correct?
Yeah.
And you didn't say to the lawyer, I can't afford to pay you, correct?
No.
Good. So that takes care of the lawyer's fees. Lawyer's fees you owe her. Now, let's take care of the rest of it, because the rest of it I'm not so sure about.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
You have a son who you let live in your house.
Right.
And do absolutely nothing.
Right.
Well, listen to me. Get him out of bed in the morning and tell him he's got to get a job.
And later today,
Why don't you give her her money back?
Pardon me?
What word didn't you understand?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Janet Clifton wants her daughter-in-law, Tina Clifton, to pay for attorney fees and childcare while Tina was in jail.
What else do you think she should pay you for?
I presume the child care, because I have been taking care of her children for the last year and
Where's
a half.
your son?
He's just as bad as she is.
Well, listen.
He
madam,
is. He's just as bad as she is.
Listen to me. Do you have legal custody of her children?
No, ma'am. But
All
as
right.
soon as I get through here today, I'm going to go try.
All right. Let me explain this to you. Right now, I assume that in your home, you live there. Is this your husband?
Yes, this is my husband.
You, your husband, your son, who's good for nothing.
Yeah.
And your 2 grandchildren.
Right.
Right? She doesn't live there.
No. Has not been since October.
Fine.
I want to get your attention. I'm sorry, Judge.
What?
I moved out of there because when I got out of recovery, Rodney was still into the same stuff, and then I almost messed up, and so I was like, I had to get out of there because I'm changing my life. I go to NA, I go to counseling. She won't let me see my kids. I have the phone bills of all the times I've tried to call. She wouldn't even let me talk to my husband when I tried to get her.
That's not so.
Miss Clifton, how long have you been involved with drugs?
When I was 19.
And how old are you now?
27.
And she's got 2.
Shh.
I'm changing my life. That's why I moved out of there. I left my marriage.
Miss Clifton, before you get your kids back, once the courts get involved, they're going to screen you for drugs if they're smart on a random basis twice a week. That's what I used to do. And they can also look at me. They can also random test you for drugs by taking a hair follicle test, which will indicate to the court, based upon the drugs that build up in your hair, which aren't released. Did you know about that?
Yeah, I do, because I do that Discovery Zone when you work there.
Oh, okay. Well, you haven't been in inpatient rehab for a while now, is that right?
I've been going to my NA, and I have to go to an outpatient now.
Okay. And when was the last time you were drug tested? Look at me.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Right. And I'm not going to get into whether or not you've had any kind of slippage. You know what I mean by slippage?
I understand. I know what you mean.
Okay. Because I sort of have a nose for that. It's one of the things that you get when you sit in the family court for a very long time. So I don't think that right now you are in a position, as you indicate in your answer, of having custody of your children back.
But I'm
not yet.
I'm doing everything right. I mean,
no. You and I both know that if you went for a hair follicle test today, it would not be good. Miss Clifton, it would not be perfect, right?
Unless if you count back in October or September when I got out of rehab.
let us assume that I believe that. So after you got out of rehab, you slipped.
Yeah, that's why I
Of
moved
course.
out.
And
What?
she's pregnant
Shut-
with another baby.
Shh. Ta-ta. So you're not ready for your kids yet. But I'm leaving you alone for a second. You have a son who's much closer to you. Right?
Right.
Who you let live in your house.
Right.
And do absolutely nothing.
Right.
Well, listen to me. Get him out of bed in the morning and tell him he's got to get a job.
I've done that.
You know? A job, or else to get his behind out of your house.
He works
Because
for
then...
them.
He was working for my husband.
They
My
pay him
husband
under
and
the
I have
table
a-
to get AFDC still.
My husband and I have our own plumbing business. He was doing a couple hours a day just to make ends meet for the family and to help support the 2 children. Well, now he can't even do that. He will not get up and go to work. He stays up all night long and he sleeps all day. We've had the police out there several times saying that I have to have him evicted from my own home.
Absolutely right. Listen to me.
Because
If
they
he's-
won't do anything.
Listen to me, madam. You want to step up here with your wife, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
If that's the way your son chooses to live, let's be very honest with each other. If that's the way your son chooses to live, and he's an adult, you're not going to be able to do much about that. But if you are responsible people, and I assume that you are responsible people, and you have these 2 little grandbabies that you are interested in, your son isn't staying up all night and sleeping all day because he's an owl. He's staying up all night and sleeping all day because he's using drugs,
That's
which
right.
means he's using drugs around your grandchildren in your home, which means you got to kick him out.
That's right.
Period. End of discussion.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I want to tell you something that makes me feel really good.
And later today,
He called me not to take photos like he promised he would after I gave him $1,500, but he would call up and ask me if I wanted to go riding on his Harley Davidson.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Janet Clifton wants her daughter-in-law, Tina Clifton, to pay for attorney fees and child care while Tina was in jail.
He's using drugs around your grandchildren in your home, which means you got to kick him out. And the way to do that is do not stop at go, do not stop for anything. From court today, you go to the local domestic relations court or family court in your jurisdiction, which is where?
Van Nuys.
Right. And you petition the court for custody or guardianship of your grandchildren. And you do that because your son is an inappropriate caretaker. And right now, your daughter-in-law, despite the fact that she has reasonable intentions, perhaps, for the future, is still, in my judgment, not ready to take care of her children, that they would be at risk.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what you have to do. And then you can sue for support from your son, from your daughter-in-law. If neither one of them are prepared to pay support, the courts, as far as I'm concerned, can throw their keisters in jail. If you are collecting welfare for the grandchildren, are you now?
Well, he is.
They are, but it's hard getting that money to use for the
right.
children,
So-
you understand.
Oh, I understand exactly what the story is, which means that I am a taxpayer, as is Bird. So as taxpayers, we are writing checks to your son, welfare, for his 2 children. And he's taking the welfare money and sticking it up his nose.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, that I want to tell you something. That makes me feel really good.
Yeah. Makes me feel
really
real
good.
too.
So, Mrs. Clifton, I
I
am
have
awarding. Listen to me. Do I need to hear any more?
Yeah, you just need to hear this one thing. I have a tape here that of Christmas morning that Grandpa and I did Christmas for the
Neither
2
parent.
babies. Neither one of these parents were there.
She doesn't let
She
me go
never
there.
even called. I've got a whole book here on a whole year
Mrs.
of how many
Clifton,
times she
Mrs.
called.
Clifton, I understand your frustration, madam.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I understand your frustration. There are really, in this case, 2 real innocents, and these are your 2 little grandboys.
That's right.
You're innocent to the extent that, well, you raised this boy.
Yeah.
All right, you know, and I don't know whether anything had to do with his rearing resulted in the way he turned out, but he clearly turned out not so terrific.
Because they used to be on drugs. Because they used to be on drugs.
Well, I want to tell you something. I look at both of them now. They don't appear to be on drugs now.
Now, for the last 10 years,
Tina. They don't give me the chance that I'm getting
But that's
clean.
the
Just
reason
listen
we've
to
been trying
me.
to help these
Mrs. Clifton. Mrs. Clifton Jr. If you were a smart lady and not selfish, but thinking only about your children, your two boys have the following option right now. They can stay with their grandparents, or they can go to foster care with strangers. That's their option. Now, I would assume that your boys have been through enough tumult in their lives, through enough uprooting, seen enough in their young lives to last them a lifetime between you and your husband. So right now they are at least in a relatively stable environment as soon as they get the son out of the house. So, if you're really serious about putting your life in order, then you have to be drug-free. Not for 3 months, not for 6 months, maybe for 2 years. Because it's very unfair for you to say, well, I want to take my kids now. I've been clean for 3 months. You've been using drugs for years. And you have relapses periodically. I don't know how often. All I know, are you pregnant now?
Yes, I am.
Well, all I want to tell you is this. If you're pregnant now and you use drugs, your baby's going to be born positive tox for whatever you use. And I don't know if your drug of choice is cocaine or heroin. And I don't know if your 2 other children were born with drugs in their system. Were they?
Here's a letter.
Shut Just a second.
No, because they would have gotten taken away from me.
Just a second. Were either of your 2 sons born with drugs in their system?
They were not born with drugs in their system.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And later today.
What'd you do for her for $1,500?
I haven't done anything at this point.
Perfect. All I'm telling you now is if you continue to use drugs, this baby is going to be born with drugs in its system. So I suggest you start getting your act in order for real.
I am.
Yeah. It's a lot of talk. It's a lot of talk. In any event, you owe your in-laws $2,500 for your attorney's fees. That's it.
Thank you.
I have given you my best advice.
I'll take it.
That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you.
Back door to your right, please.
And now the next case.
Parties on Stolba versus Radoni.
30-year-old actress and model Janie Stolba claims 50-year-old theatrical producer Charlie Radoni didn't fulfill a photo shoot after she had paid him $1,500.
You claim that you gave this gentleman $1,500 to act as your agent. You're an actress model?
Yes.
He was supposed to arrange for a, what do they call it, a photo shoot?
A photo shoot?
And he didn't do that?
No, he didn't.
You want your $1,500 back?
Yes, I do.
What'd you do for her for $1,500?
I haven't done anything at this point.
Perfect. That sounds perfect. It's just going to be an easy case. So why don't you give her her money back?
Pardon me?
What word didn't you understand? Why don't you give her her money back?
Well, it's in the contract, Your Honor, that she's only guaranteed the refund 6 months after I finish the portfolio.
How long have you had her $1,500?
Well, it's been quite a while, but every time I call her, she's not available.
It's been a year. It's been a year, Your Honor.
It's been a year?
Just about a year.
Good.
2 more
Judgment
months.
in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Number 328 on the calendar in the matter of Wishard versus Hayes. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir.
Oh, Miss Wishard. You have a problem.
Yes.
You had an on-again, off-again relationship with this gentleman.
Yes.
According to these papers, mostly off.
Yes.
But for a fleeting moment while it was on, you got yourself pregnant. Now it's off. Right? What are you laughing about? Shouldn't do that by yourself. Right? And to add insult to injury, he owes you money.
Yes.
So, why don't you tell me what he owes you money for?
He owes me around $660. In January, we got an apartment together. under the pretense that he was going to get a salary job. He had been working for his brother, and it was kind of a partnership relationship. So if they didn't get paid, they didn't get paid.
How long had you been together up until that point?
Around 2 years.
And were you living together before that?
For about 3 months prior to that, but not before that.
Had you discussed getting married?
A few times.
Did you do the talking or did he do the talking?
I guess it depended on the situation. You know, when I felt like I wanted to, I would talk to him, and usually when he would screw up, then he would talk to me about it.
What do you mean when he would screw up?
When, you know, when he had done something wrong and knew he was at fault, then he would say, oh, baby, you know, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I want to be with you forever. Let's get married.
He actually used the M word.
Yes, yes.
Spending the rest of my life with you, wanting to be with you together, I've heard a lot since I've been sitting here. The M word I haven't heard so much. So you took this new apartment.
Yes.
You both signed the lease.
Yes.
And what happened?
We got 2 weeks free rent because we moved in the middle of January. And then it was coming time for rent to be due at the beginning of February. He had not gotten a salary position with his brother or with any other company. And I told him that he either needed to get the rent money together or get out. And then I said, no, I don't even want to bother with that. Either you need to leave or I need to leave, and we need to settle up on the lease.
Was it the financial frustration that finally
that
got
was
to you?
part of it, and just he wasn't owning up to his responsibility. I would have never moved in the larger, more expensive apartment if he had just told me, no, Amy, I'm not gonna get a salary position. I'm gonna keep working for my brother. Then at least I would have known, and it would have been up to me at that time if I wanted, you know, to move on further or drop it there. But
what kind of work do you do?
I'm a loan officer for a mortgage company.
So either he was going to leave or you were going to leave.
Right.
What happened?
And I had decided that I would leave. I went and got my things, and we agreed that we were going to come in a few days later and sign papers for him to take over responsibility of the lease. Then, prior to when we were supposed to go in and sign the papers, they called me and said he had moved all his things out, which was untrue because we had already decided that I was going to leave and he was going to take over the lease. I even told him I would pay that half for that month where he could find a roommate, and he said there were too many painful memories and he just couldn't stay there.
So $660 is half of the rent for February?
Well, we had to break the lease. So they charged us that month's rent, plus they charged us another month's rent, you know, for breaking the lease, plus 2 months utility fees. And I have all the fees that they...
So it all comes to $660?
His half.
And what else do you say he owes you for?
And then I loaned him $450. Later on that year, he said he needed to pay some other kind
Well, when did this happen?
In January.
Of '97?
Yes.
So after you broke up and after everything else, you lent him more money?
Yes.
Amy!
Yeah. Well, we were on speaking terms at the time and on a friendship basis.
So what did he need this money for?
He said he needed to pay lawyer's fees or court fees for some other case he was going to.
What other case?
I think it might have been a custody battle. I'm not sure.
And you gave him the money?
Yes.
Do you have proof that you gave him the money?
I have a check that I wrote out to cash. I didn't write it to him.
Well, somebody had to cash it.
That he cashed at my bank.
Oh. Mm-hmm. And when did you find out you were pregnant?
In August.
So after you broke up in January, you were a little more than just friends?
Yeah, later on. Yes, ma'am.
But then you broke up again?
Well, before I found out I was pregnant, we were trying to work things out. And prior to me being pregnant, I had taken a trip and I told him, he knew I was going, but I didn't call him before I left. And he was upset over that. So when I told him I was pregnant, he said that he wasn't the father and that he didn't take any responsibility.
Well, you'll be able to establish that if you have to after the baby's born.
Well, later on he said he was, but...
In any event, later on,
right.
You'll be able to do blood tests and there won't be any issue with regard to that, if that's what you want.
Right.
Okay, I'm ready.
Prior to signing the new lease, we were going through some problems, and I asked Amy, I kept asking over and over, if she's not comfortable with it, let's don't sign this new lease. She kept saying that she was, so therefore we went and signed the new lease.
What do you mean? That's all very soft.
What?
You were going through some problems. You mean emotional problems? You were fighting? What do you mean?
She wasn't comfortable where we were at. I don't think she was comfortable with me. Just things of that nature, and I kept asking her, you know, before we make this next move, I want you to be comfortable. And she kept assuring me that she was. So we made this next move, and before I moved out, she moved out. In the same day, or it may have been the next day, I'm not sure, she moved back in. So then, the next day, we had this discussion where more or less she kicked me out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Why would I just give him $450? He said, yes, I will pay you back.
I don't even remember getting the money.
And later today.
And I told her that she needed to bug off. That's just my words. Because that was my son. I carried him 9 months, and she had nothing to say.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Amy Wishard claims Ken Hayes owes her for a loan and a broken lease. Ken says he doesn't owe the soon-to-be mother of his child anything.
Let's make it easy. If a relationship doesn't work out, this doesn't look like the kind of lady, and you've known her a long time, who conned you into going into another apartment in order to throw you out so that 2 weeks later she'd have to move out. That doesn't make sense. She's an intelligent woman, right?
Yes, she is.
So what she was hoping for was that your relationship would work. And it seems to me, from what you told me, sir, that you both have tried to make it work even after that February when you were no longer together, right?
Right.
So she shouldn't have to bear the full financial responsibility for the apartment and for the lease and breaking the lease, right? That sounds fair, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Good. Now let's talk about this $450, this check for cash for $450. What'd you need the money for?
As looking back on it, Your Honor, we're in a relationship, and in a relationship, you exchange gifts, money, things of that nature. I never looked at it as being a loan. I have to pay it back.
What did you need the money for, sir, is my question.
I don't recall. I don't even remember getting the money.
Were you involved in some sort of litigation in April?
No.
Do you have a child?
Yes.
How old is your child?
She's 5 years old.
Had you been to court with the child's mother?
No.
Around April?
No.
Were you having problems with visitation?
No.
Well then, what did you need the money for, sir?
I don't recall. I don't even remember getting the money.
Your Honor, he came to my place of work. I was working at a bank at the time. Amy, I need to borrow $450. I promise you I'll pay you this back in the next couple days. I said, Ken, are you sure that's a lot of money? I can't just be throwing around $450. Why would I just give him $450? He said, yes, I will pay you back. And when I spoke to him about the incident with the rent, I said, and you owe me $450, and he said, I haven't paid you back for that yet? Now, why would he say that if it was a gift? He knew it was a loan.
When is your baby due?
May.
Are you still working with your brother?
Yes.
You finally making a living?
Yeah. Thank you.
When this baby comes, and I assume when you are satisfied beyond any shadow of a doubt that this baby is yours, you're going to pay support for the baby?
Yes. Great.
We're going to start now by filling back up her little nest egg for money that you owe her. That's $660 and $450 that she loaned to you in April of 1997. Grand total is $1,110. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
And now the next case.
All parties on Davidson versus Davidson. Step forward, please.
Banker Bobby Davison is suing her ex-husband, Louis Davison, for half of their son's funeral costs.
You folks have been divorced for a long time. How many years?
30, approximately.
And sadly, your son was killed in an automobile accident when he was in his 30s.
Yes.
How old was he? 30?
36.
And according to your complaint, Ms. Davison, your former husband agreed to pay for half of your son's funeral expenses.
That's correct.
And then he reneged on that agreement, and according to him, gave you $1,000 towards the expenses. Is that right?
Yes.
He has a defense that is interesting. So why don't you tell me about the arrangements that you started to make for your son and how your former husband was involved?
Well, at the time that I received word that my son had passed, and we went to the funeral home to make the arrangements for the burial, it was agreed on that we would go 50-50 on the funeral expenses.
Well, according to these papers, let me stop you for a moment.
Sure.
You agreed in the funeral director's office that each of you would be responsible for half the bill. But then, according to these papers, the funeral director said that since your son was married, you had no right legally to make the arrangements because even though you're his parents, you were not his next of kin. His wife had to approve the agreement. Is that right? There was another meeting with the funeral director.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And who was present at that meeting?
His wife, my ex's wife.
That's you?
Yes, ma'am. And myself.
You weren't there?
No, I was not.
Why weren't you there?
I was working.
Okay, so you sent your wife
So
in
I
your
sent
stead.
my wife to represent me.
Fine. And what happened at that meeting?
Well, at that meeting is when the Mrs. Davison, Sue Davison, and Tammy and I went in to review the casket that we had picked out. Then Sue Davison said that we should change it to a wooden box, that her father was buried in a pine box, and why couldn't we bury it? And I told her that she needed to bug off. That's just my words. Because that was my son, I carried him 9 months, and she had nothing to say or do with my funeral arrangements that was being made. Because Tammy financially was not able to take care of the expensive, and it was up between my ex and myself.
So what happened?
So after a few choice words with Mrs. Davison, Sue Davison, she said that she would give Tammy $1,000, and Tammy was to do with that whatever she wanted to do with it. And so Tammy, in terms, handed it over to the mortician, and that was applied to the funeral expenses.
Is that pretty much the story, sir?
So far, yes.
And how much were the expenses in total?
I don't have exact total, but Mr. Davison's share would be $2359.67.
Now, does that include the $1,000 that he gave you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
So you've given him credit for that.
Yes,
so that
sir.
the funeral was
approximately
$6,500, $6,600.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Hopefully, when people come to court, they can reach some sort of resolution, even without somebody banging them over their heads.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Bobby Davison wants her ex-husband, Louis Davison, to pay his share of their son's funeral costs. Louis says Bobby changed the arrangements at the last minute, making the funeral too expensive.
Okay, Mr. Davison. Initially, you agreed to share the expenses with your former wife. And now you said no. Tell me why, sir.
Okay, originally, if I could approach you and show you this, or somebody could show you this, that when we were talking to the mortician, or the gentleman who was making the arrangements, that when he found out that Tammy was still legally married to my son, that everything that we had done to that point was null and void.
Okay. May I see the paper that you have, sir?
Okay, and this is the original one that we had signed up to that point where he found out.
I'd like to see it, please.
Yeah, just take that knife. That was the original form that we had signed.
Okay. So the total of what you originally agreed to was $36.31. Is that correct?
At that point, yes.
Now, Ms. Davison, the original agreement that your husband said, I will pay for half, was for $3,631. At your second meeting, you chose to spend $6,500. according to you?
Well, at the time, all the funeral expenses was supposed to be 50-50.
That's not what I'm asking you.
I know you're not, but that does not include an open and closing of the grave, which I had to go out and pay myself.
How much was it to open and close the grave?
$1,024.
Now, Mr. Davison, did you understand so that there would be an additional cost to open and close the grave?
At that time, no, I did not.
Well, I'm going to ask you an interesting question, because this is more of a moral question than a legal one. If you had known, I don't want you to try to remove yourself from where you are right now, but if you had known at the time that to open and close the grave was going to cost $1,025, would you have agreed to pay for half of that?
I would agree to help, yes.
Okay. That still, Miss Davidson, brings the total to $4,600, not $6,500. He agreed to pay $3,631. So I believe that an argument can be made that you obligated yourself for the amount of $3,600. You only paid half of $3,600 or $1,800, and you only gave her $1,000, which means minimally you owe her $800 for the expenses of the funeral. The only thing that I want to ask you, Mr. Davison, the original amount that you agreed to contribute did not include the opening and closing of the grave. It was only for the funeral director. And I'm asking you if today you are prepared to contribute something towards the opening and closing of the grave.
Okay, if the circumstances at the time, right now, to answer your question,
you'll feel better if you say yes.
Well, there's no question I'd feel better, but that was not the problem.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Hopefully, when people come to court, they can reach some sort of resolution, even without somebody banging them over their heads. I think that morally, if not legally, you should be responsible for seeing to it that your son received an appropriate burial. And certainly that includes opening and closing the grave. That's what the cost was.
Yeah.
Okay? What you originally agreed to, I am going to portion in half. And I'm also going to portion half of the cost of internment to you because you've consented to do that, which I think is the right thing. You'll sleep better, Mr. Davison.
I haven't no problem sleeping.
You'll sleep better. So, Ms. Davison, I'm giving you a judgment in the amount of $1,327. Thank you. That's all.
If I excuse, you may step out.